Hours left in a pretty exciting afternoon shaping up here. It's been kind of back and forth all day right now. Another move back to the downside. We'll show you the board here and see where we're at exactly. Flat, in fact, right now for the S&P 500, giving back that gain we were enjoying. I mean, I feel like I was just at the TV talking about this being up about 0.8, 0.9. And here we are now just back to 0.25% for the NASDAQ. The Dow back into negative territory here. President Biden is speaking, but it's on specifically on that EV $900 million funding that's going to come from that overall bill, but the first portion of that to come. So Biden speaking on that right now. Why don't we shift over and have a look at the big board, see where we're at right now. That's the S&P 500, pretty flat, to be honest. More negativity coming through right now in the materials group specifically. Remember, Nucor, the forecast problem out aftermarket yesterday, FCX as well. Downside 4.5% for some of the material stocks. Under pressure, Mosaic standing out there as positive 2.5%. Back to the upside. Financials, yeah, they've been doing nothing all day, really. It was interesting to see the initial move higher, but comes right back down for some of the banks today. Here's the energy group down here, all in positive territory. Nice bounce back for crude oil today. We're still up nicely on the session. CTRA, Apache here leading the way, 6.5% and 6.25%, respectively. Tech stocks front and center. It's been a crazy day for the NASDAQ, and also specifically some individual names in this group, software names specifically. Oracle now down 5%. CRM, however, trying to push back towards 1% upside. So back and forth we go. Semiconductors in the middle, all basically in positive territory. Nvidia down about 0.4 right now, leading the way back into negative territory. That's Starbucks, 5.25%. We're going to talk about that coming up. Great day for Starbucks after that. I mean, I saw them call it a reinvention yesterday. So, I mean, it was a big plan. I don't know if it was a complete reinvention, though. Tesla, 3% this afternoon, having a nice day. Ford's red on the day. There's Moderna, we mentioned early on this morning, 5.25% back in positive territory. So back to flat, back to mixed. Hope your afternoon is a profitable one and you're enjoying it, at least. Let's jump into what we were talking about this morning. If you joined us early on this morning, make sure you're with us every day at 8:30. We go over everything you need to know heading towards the open. Then you get set to trade at the open as well. Sean's here. He's going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Hey guys, welcome. It's the Trade of the Day today. As always, brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you hit that QR code in the bottom there to join us today at Day Trade the World and start your prop floor. Okay, Meta right now, it's going to be your Trade of the Day. Why? It's down 2%. Look at the market over here. Only up 0.18 now. It was up a little bit more than that. Actually, that's surprising. A nice little move down here in the NASDAQ just starting. So maybe we go actually red on this name. The reason why Meta is your trade of the day, it was the number one. I don't have the sticky note up here, but follow me at Trader TV Sean. It was the number one name on the sticky note. And why? I mean, look at what happened yesterday. It was a complete destruction for Meta. It was down over 9% yesterday and just kept on falling. The shorts that we have, and I don't have the chart up here, but yesterday we shorted 160. We also shorted this 154 break. Look what happened at the end of the day here when we broke down 154. It went down almost immediately $1, and I was in that specific trade. So it was like the last trade that I put on last night. So it was fresh up here. That Meta still has a little ways to go. So let's look at what the trade was. I said we'd like to short it if we got back to 156. That never came through today. This is all today's action. The high, not even coming through. This 152 though, yesterday's bottom right there, we had 152.20, right? That was the new 52-week low and was yesterday's bottom right there. So that's what we had written down on our sticky note today. And the reason why, this is going to look a little sloppy, and I'll explain what happened in the middle of the day. But the key thing here was this: short. Every single trade today for me is a short. Why? Because yesterday was destruction day for Meta, and today you can see we are down 2% versus an up NASDAQ. So that's sort of the correlation that we were looking for, relative weakness in Meta, and it continues today. So the very first trade, this is really the trade of the day, and it's this break right here. It's 152.20. It's the previous low of the day, and look how fast that comes in. We don't take anything up top. If you would have thought short early, which we were thinking short early, but I didn't want a piece of the pre-market in case there was some sort of a bear trap. We had the lowest day yesterday since 2020 in September. The NASDAQ down 5.5%. So I didn't really want to mess with it. There could have been a trap trap to the long today, which there was, but Meta says, nah, no trap here. There's the break. That's that line carried forward from over here. So it's the new 52-week low right there. That's that line. Here's the trade. Comes in, bang to the downside, never goes against us. I think it went against us maybe 20 cents, but the first couple takes 20 cents. Then you're down here at 51.50 area. So now we're starting to take about 80, 90 cents. Then it absolutely collapses. It barcodes out here about at 151. Bunch of outs at 151. Starts to go back up. We take a piece out at 151.50 again. Then it falls. That's where VWAP was at that point. Then we get that very bottom wick, which is pretty cool. We wind up getting that out at around 150, 150.30. So that's about a $2 win. So that's it. We could be done trading Meta at that point. Sometimes it's only one trade. But then all of a sudden the market's like, hello. And in a matter of 3 minutes, it retraces from that very bottom of 150 all the way back to 153. So we're like, $3, what? So we take that short again, but look how patient we are. We don't short in the middle. We don't short in the middle. We short at that pre-market bottom, right? We're going to go short until it breaks that 153. Unfortunately, it does break, but look what happens almost immediately. It goes 50 cents up, so we do a good job, and then it cranks lower. That's my bid to get out of here, so we realize we get that, get in and out. This is the important thing here as we go. All these other trades, everything's kind of flat in here. This short, it goes all the way down. That's on the 150 break, which is right there. Breaks 150, tanks to the downside. Didn't take profit, should have. Comes right back up, short again, out. Get knocked out there. That's again another mistake, in and out. And then as of here, more shorts, more shorts. Short, short. Unfortunately, we were in a meeting, doesn't matter. We get taken out there at 150, 150, and then now we have to wait to see what's happening. It's trying to respect this 151. The idea here behind the trade of the day is very, very simple, right? And that is, I want to show two things. Forget about all of this because those are like washes. The idea here is you go short early. Why? Because we picked on Meta. It got crushed yesterday. We thought there was more downside coming today. The second reason, that's that 52-week low right there. Perfect. Came in, we hit it, downside pressure. Now, you take $2 on one piece, that's part of it. Not only that, the majority of them are out for about $1.50 winner. This is the trade of the day here as well. Part two, the losing trade. Because as it comes back up, we take a fill, but then we get out when it breaks. So this fill right there is 152.80. It breaks 153 and we get out. So that's like a 25, 30 cent hit when you're wrong. It's when you're right that you need to win, right? So back into here, a little sloppy back and forth. We made money on this part, about flat there, and a lot of money there. But it's your trade of the day. It's discipline and it's risk to reward.
And a great one. Meta, top of the list, that list as well this morning. Make sure you grab that every single day. We send it out to more than 30,000 of you on a daily basis now, right to your inbox for free every single day. Breaks down everything that's moving in the pre-market and why. Talks a little bit about that why. That's the important part. Then you come join us at 8:30. We figure out how on earth to trade these things every single day. QR code will take you right to the watch list, guys. A few things of note here as we head into the afternoon. This was the story a lot of people were talking about this afternoon. Again, Biden speaking, I think he's done now, but he was speaking anyways about this $900 million, which is like the first chunk coming to EV charging stations, or for some of the companies that make EV charging stations throughout the US, 35 states making that available. Tesla, Wall Street Journal reporting that Tesla is going to scrap plans to make batteries at their German plant. Came out this morning that their expansion of the German plant was put on hold indefinitely, was the term they used. Now the Wall Street Journal saying they're going to try and bring that into the US so that, here's the catch, if we go back to that, Fahad, so that they can get some of this money as well. So if they make it in Germany, it's not eligible for this. So now they want some of this. Makes sense. Then this one as well, that wasn't... Oh, this was an interesting note. Why don't we get the guys' thoughts on Tesla here before we get into this? Because a ton of retail buying the dip yesterday. I'll get to that in a sec, guys. But interesting note on Tesla there. I guess a bit of a no-brainer. If Biden's going to hand out $900 million, why not get some of it?
Yeah, I mean, what's the old line? It's I'll take anybody money if they're giving it away. I think that was a Wire. I want to say
I didn't watch The Wire.
I feel great show, man. You're gonna,
I know.
My name is my name.
It's the one I gotta watch.
Yo, that's a great show. Tesla can do That'll be. No, Tesla was strong today. So I felt like the way I felt on NIO yesterday is how I felt on Tesla today. And oddly enough, it was Tesla which respected all the levels to the short side. It did not today. So shorted at 95 and stopped out there. Shorted at 96 and stopped out there. Shorted at 300 and stopped out there. Shorted at 304, stopped out there. And then did not have it when it finally did the move. So I took like 4 separate trades. I mean, at least I didn't hold it the whole way, I guess. That's about the only thing I can say. But very frustrating and difficult trade on the way up there in Tesla. I never, and really, if going back and it's like, yeah, 97, that's probably where it could have been an acceptable long. Okay, I know we're going to talk Tesla, and I'll get to Rivian because we're both going to talk about Rivian 40. But HKD just halted up at $236. $236. So it's going again. It's gone again. 414% to the upside. It hasn't even crossed 1 million shares yet. So I guess we're going to be talking about this one again. But it's indicating a flat open right now. We'll get to that when it opens back up there. But yeah, Tesla was super frustrating. Rivian a little bit more successful because I didn't flip long Rivian when it broke 39, but I didn't keep fighting it either. Like I got away from, took one short on and off that level. It broke. I said, get away from that one. Didn't take it when it came back in. Didn't take the long. Just waited for 40, which has been an absolute brick wall. So 40's been a brick wall. It's tested at 1, 2, 3. Technically a 4th time, although it looks like I missed the 4th time here. I was trying to get 97s, so I didn't really get that 4th time that it's tested it. But it will not break 39.60. So, this breakout price that it had at about noon, no breakout. It's still rolling over. EV strong. Tesla was super strong this morning, man. There's no question about it. But finding some tops here, Tesla rolling over. The market's at the lows. You'd think Rivian could at least fall back into VWAP here. You saw Tesla's chart coming back down and flushing a little bit. I'm expecting Rivian could do the same, but 40's been 40. I suppose it could have been Lucid today. There's Lucid. Why isn't Rivian doing this? It'll come all the way back down into VWAP. That's what Lucid's doing. NIO is even getting a little bit of a pullback after its strength in the morning. I had NIO 2 times. We had it at the open off 22s. I then shorted it off 2150 and took it out. No reversals to the long side on those. Looking at longs elsewhere, I like PayPal and Starbucks. I guess we'll get to those. But NIO, everything rolling over, or at least trying to. Rivian just needs to go a little further. Break 60, I think we see VWAP.
Yeah, thanks, Leroy Jenkins, talking about the God trade here on Rivian. I mean, yeah, you just wait, and I just tweeted it out, man. It's about being patient. Like, I was just patient for this. It's on the sticky note about 40, so you wait for that level, comes in, and yeah, it's been cash money. It didn't actually even break that 40 there. I don't know what that wick is, but back-to-back jacks again here on Rivian. Just be patient, man. We paid for the shorts. I don't know why we had to, but there's a 94, and again, was in meetings, came back. Just saw this level, punch short, didn't have to do anything. Just took that short right there, hit it, get down. It went down to 63 there. The lowest it went was 58. We have all these fills as it breaks. And again, just back to some of this support level right there on Rivian. So I don't know if it's going to break higher or lower, but I just took another piece off there at 71. We're getting lighter on this trade right now. Are we doing the rundown? The rundown is gone, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be chips up there in a minute. But right there, 70. I think I'm going to take a piece out here on AMD as we're trying to break lower here. This is another one of those shorts that we waited for. Could have been the trade of the day again, up to 78. Bang it to the downside there. It just bounces off 60. So I'm debating right now getting some more out of AMD as it drips back down. I was waiting. My bid is down here at 25, all the way down here. Maybe we get that, maybe we don't. We're still below the 50 period. So let's wait. Let's just wait to see if it does fall down a little bit here. I hate throwing back profit. That's the one thing. So if it does come back up, we will get a piece out here, probably around 77.20. But let's see if AMD wants to dance with the devil here tonight.
A couple things. BTC doing this right now. So that consolidation we've seen over the past few days, breaking downside. So heads up with some of the crypto stocks. This was that note I was going to mention here. Yesterday, that sell-off we had yesterday, biggest down day since 2020. Retailers, however, buying the dip in a big way, according to Vanda Research. 2.6 billion was May 5th. That was the prior highest inflows day of this year from retail. But yesterday was the second highest officially, next to that 2.6 billion. from back in May. So retail was buying yesterday, surprisingly, guys.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Is it really that surprising? Because you got to dip essentially the week of the merge, right? So there's a lot of people excited about what could happen with ETH and in the entire space, maybe getting a bit of a bump off that. And then you got a huge dip by opportunity. So I can see that. It makes some sense. Weirdly enough, I didn't trade a single. Yeah, well, I mean, PayPal very loosely counts. I don't know if that really counts. I was trading Square yesterday. Coinbase did a bit of a break. I don't know why I'm missing pre-market data, but a bit of a breakout on Coinbase. It could not get toward that 80 price, however. I think, if this move extends to 80, I probably put on a short in Coinbase. I know kudos to Prad because I'm 99% sure he did grab this short, and I hope he's still in it because that looks fantastic off that 79 high. I just was looking for something like the 80s in there. But if it wants to hold support, it's still a couple of dollars away. As the market, all we've seen in the market is hit the low, hit the high, hit the low, hit the high, and we're now going back toward hitting the low. So it's just like assume every move is going to go all the way at this point. So if you're in the short, it's like hold on to this thing until it actually gets back down into 75s or maybe 74s. I wish I'd had one of those today. PayPal is what I trade. I'm assuming it'll be on the rundown. If it's not, we'll talk about that in a minute. But HKD is about to hold to the upside to 275. I paid for the shorts on this thing. I don't know if I even want to take a shot at it. I probably want to at some point, but it might have to be something a little more ridiculous. There was a 280 level on this on the daily. If you kind of go back to, here, it's actually closer to 290, I should say. If you go back to when this wound down off of 2,500, that's as far as it went, and it consolidated, there was one last spike, and that last spike got to 290. So the last reasonable price is the best way to think about this, is 290, and it's at 275. So if it fails 300, that's probably the one short worth taking. But if you trade this, like you're risking minimum 15 bucks, something like that, to make a trade. And that's even a tight stop short would be risking $15 on the trade. So like that's what you got to wrap your head around. So structuring a short, you got to be able to figure it out, and then executing it as well because the spread's gigantic.
We're scrapping the official rundown today because we pretty much covered most things here as I get a note from Brendo. So yeah, no official rundown today, but we're running down all of our trades anyways as we go. So hopefully that'll be able to get covered. Brendo will come if he wants to interrupt or has any sort of stories to go through here. I just wanted to talk about the trades that I'm in quickly before we engage in some new ones. Like I mentioned here, AMD is trying to go back up to the upside. As Neil mentioned, the future's up and down and around again. So a 77 break here on AMD is worth getting out one more piece, and then we'll see if we can hold the rest for a bigger move to the downside here. But if 77 does break, I am out of half of what I have left here on AMD. It's going to be a big winner, man. It's $1 in the money, so so far so good. But just on cue there, what does Brendan want to talk about? What's up?
Just quickly on this whole AMTD, HKD nonsense again today. KRKR, you can link to them as well now. It would appear in this filing, this Airstar Digital, which is a fintech subsidiary of Xiaomi, which is a huge company, which is this KRKR. They're teaming up with AMTD. So KRKR, another AMTD, HKD, short story.
KR.
Yeah. And
KR.
Look, I should also say this. Like
$1 only.
That's pretty cheap, right? Looking at something like the last time this happened, AMTD was a safer. I don't want to say safer trade, but like easier to wrap your head around, getting size, taking spread. So KRKR could be a little something there. And no one ever went broke taking profit, and making sure you get paid makes some sense on HKD. If you're long that thing, like I said, sure it went to 2,500 last time. I seriously doubt that it's going to 2,500 again. I mean, it's not going to do it. I'll drop down and give you 20 if we see 2,500 in the next couple of days.
I'd be more than 20. I mean, that's just not
50.
Okay, I think 50
I'll do. I would say in this space over here, I do 50 push-ups if we see 2,500.
Space?
But there's no space to do it because like someone's taking a shower back here. I don't know what's going on over here. There's some stuff happening with the stage. You guys might hear some construction, but like
there it is. Yeah, big time happening there.
And it's also why I'll be sneezing throughout the show because there's a lot more dust here. Today. I don't know. I should
big moves around.
I should
here.
file a complaint with HR, but Greg probably doesn't care. Anyway, so I'm trading. I'm in a firm again. So that just bounced off VWAP, as we said, the market trying to come back up again. I'll play this. If it comes back to like 24, 15 or so, these levels, I'll probably reload that. And then we've talked about Rivian at 40. I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination to understand that if 40 breaks on Rivian, like the market got back to the lows, Rivian did not. It's still up 3%. If it breaks 40, out. It's simple, out. I'm not holding through that price.
No,
and I still have SoFi, which oddly enough, after doing nothing all morning long, this chart wants to load, it finally bounced, could not break the high of the day, and it is right back into VWAP and $6 where I got the long. So SoFi, despite I think it was an upgrade they got, despite that, it is up 3.4%, but most of that was a gap up overnight. Since then, it's given me like 6 to like 612, I think was the best out I could have. So not a heck of a lot happening there. But the market is moving. So those high beta names are worth watching in HKD. And now KRKR.
Yeah, I just this KRKR, I just looked it up, man. It's like it's right here on the 36 KR holdings. Like, there's some question marks there. It's still 30 million share float. So I mean, there is a big float here, but it's only $1 stock. So that's the difference, I think. I don't know if there's going to be enough problems to run this thing too far up against everybody here today. The high of this name just back in early August, it looks like, August 2nd or 3rd here, when it came up and blasted at 240. So watch out for that. You have a whole bunch of tops here that just came in on August 24th, which is right where we're at right now, basically 135. You break 135 and maybe you go on KRKR. So I'm going to try a long if it breaks 135, and then that's going to be a trade for me on that one. I'm also looking at Meta right now. First of all, Rivian is right here. This is absolutely like no sweat off the brow at all on this trade. If it breaks above, we're out. We've really done well. That's a one-day chart here. We've really done well on Rivian. Like, it just ripped to the high side and then just tanked there. Like, why did it just do that?
I should have just...
Okay, I'll take a piece out.
I should have added again. You just add every single time it goes there.
It's all good. We'll do that, and we'll spin it one more time because for some reason, you just saw it live as we were trying to explain that we were going to get crushed at 40 as it goes to 40 and falls right back down, and your boy does not hesitate. And this is why sometimes, having the hands like I have, you want to get out right away, right? And so right there, it drips, I guess, right back into, I just got an 83 fill there. So, I mean, in and out. We don't have too many shares left on Rivian. I feel like it's going to break. I am not going to take, I'm actually lowering my stop now because I feel like it will take that 40, but there's nothing wrong with continuing to go short. Just make sure you have your out when it takes 40. That's all. And we'll see if it comes back into the downside. I still do like that trade. I did want to go over Meta quickly as well as that KRKR. We actually just talked about that. Yeah, there goes KRKR right back down to the downside again. So it looks like we just gave that trade to you just a couple of seconds ago. It was just at 130. So I feel like that's well worth it if you can go short. Oh, I wanted to address something as well. And it was, I don't know who it was on the chat. I mean, I saw it at the time and now it's gone. Like, you guys are saying, like, stop saying, we smashed this name to the short side because a lot of you guys can't short. I don't know where you can't short from. I mean, it's margin accounts and things like that. I understand if you're on PDT rule, you're going to look for longs and you're going to try to get those, 1 or 2 trades, 3 trades a week, so on and so forth. But, here on a prop floor, we do have the ability to sort of go both ways. I'm a huge shareholder of, not a huge, but I mean, I consider it pretty good, a shareholder there in Meta. So there's no way that I'm like wanting this thing to go down. We're just trying to teach and show everybody the advantages of, being able to short, being part of the family here, and just if you are on a prop firm or floor, or you have a marginal account, which I'm pretty sure many of you guys have there on the chat. I'm not hating on shorts. I'm not doing anything. It just happens to be that right now I'm net short, and I was short on this Meta play, right? And we're gonna make that money, and I'm gonna celebrate it. And it's just, that's part of trading. We make money on, I mean, my Apple longs today was gonna be trade of the days as well, as we only went long on Apple today, including this 154 bottom all the way back up to the upside as well. No shorts here on Apple. So, I think that that's the advantage that we're doing here, trying to talk about that, right? The opportunity to go, as they say, holy shoot, both ways.
Now it's going down.
Yeah, now it's going back
But it's
down.
worth mentioning, so on the prop floor here, there are names that are not easy to borrow, meaning we'd have to pay a fee for shares for locates to be able to go short.
Yeah.
HKD was 24 cents per share if you wanted to get locates of that to short. Rivian was, I forget how much. Rivian was probably like a
Nothing,
penny,
it was less than
half
a
a cent,
cent,
probably.
right?
So
We
pricing-
shouldn't have to pay for Rivian.
No, we shouldn't
We've
because
talked-
it's a
that's
very
crazy.
liquid stock. But we do have to pay for shorts on certain securities, and that can be true for you guys at your broker as well. And it might be that you can't go short, but you don't realize that there are pay for locates available to you. Halt down on HKD, that just happened there. We'll see. I mean, I was also interested in that KRKR, even like if it could have just bounced. Even just looking at it off like that $1 level, like if it wants to try to bounce off a buck, that could be a little bit of something there. But it's starting to roll over a bit. Yeah, looking a little bit. The volume's starting to taper off on this, unfortunately. And I wanted to get over to, if I could, Fubo. I did have a trade in Fubo today. It broke out at 5. And I'll show you the. So this is it breaking 5. It goes up to like 509. And you know what? I should show you the 15-minute chart to get a better feel for why 5 mattered. So the other day, it rejected 5. It was a great short into 480 that was on the afternoon show, the trade. And then, of course, yesterday, everything flushed, so it fell at $5 because everything fell at 8:30 in the morning. And then I'm like, okay, triple top on this. I'm actually going to be thinking long if it breaks out. Well, it broke. It went to 510. I ended up stopping out there at 95. It's all the way back, but a holding 480. So the trend on Fubo still to the upside. I understand, like a lot of you guys that have watched understand that I think it's Pat McAfee's been talking about this. It has a good short interest as well. So it's got some, it's got some juice behind it, up 7% today, but it didn't sustain this breakout. However, I think it has another chance to go. Holding the higher lows all the way through. I do like the consolidation. Ideally, around 480 would make some sense for a dip buy. Give it to like 475 or something like that. Or just look at it holding above $5 and try to grab the long again. Because this triple top, if we're going to bounce in the market, I'm looking for a strong name here. It's got that short interest. This could be a juicy one. The volume, okay. It could be better, but it is the afternoon. So hopefully it'll pick up going into power hour.
All right, Megal here, Magic Empire here, starting to go again through $7. It's trying right now. If you want to look at this, I think a 7 break should probably hold. It's past highs right now. So the last high was made on the 12th, it looks like, or unless it was the 13th morning. No, it looks like the 12th aftermarket. Right there, we got as high as 675. Well, you've taken that level out right now and starting to make moves to the high side now. So it's going to be a 7 break, probably sparks this thing through again. So watch out for that. Again, a lot of traders are going to be shorting against this 670, right? And so if you're short against that 670, then you probably are waiting for 7 to break in order to get out. So that's something that you should think about here. If you are on Megal right now, it could break 7 and just continue to fly. This is definite short candidate here for MEGL. So watch out for that one. You got to pay for the shorts, I would assume, on this. And that's another example right now where, I'd like to think the long would work. If you go to the daily chart, you see this is just one of those names. I think realistically, it's hard to zoom in and look at this and actually talk about it because there's some halts in here and it looks like we're missing some data. I don't know. But some of those top wicks, 15, 15, 12, 13, 14. So anyways, the idea is here, what I'm getting at is this 7 is nowhere near the top. There is a lot of opportunity to keep running to the upside. But at the same time, it hasn't broken 7. So until it does that, it's a short. So you got to think about that in that sort of context. We just ripped up here from 550, right? Stopped at 7. So if you're short this name right now, which some of you might be, I would tend to think that you'd be joining a club of people to get punching out at that 7 level. So and when that happens, you create a vacuum, which could create a halt. So you don't need it to go up that far for this name to halt right now at 230. I'm actually surprised that it didn't halt yet. Let me see, where's my 1 minute chart? If I keep pulling this down, eventually I'll find it. No, okay, yeah, so it didn't really. Here it goes 570 to 620. That would have been close to a halt there, but yeah, it's pretty orderly actually on the way up here. What's up, Brendan?
Twilio popping back up, guys, on a volume spike, small one. It's not 12% now, but it was early on. They announced some workforce reductions early on this morning. Still 9.8% here for Twilio. Had a pretty big day. The initial move on that note was downside, and it's done nothing but go straight up ever since.
Strong one there.
All the way up.
Rivian's strongest too. It just does not seem to want to take these levels out to the top side. It keeps testing 40 over and over again. I didn't get it the last 2 times. at this price. There was a couple of wicks there. I guess I can call that one time. But I did jump back in here, essentially in front of that 40 even. It is trying to go. HKD is at 208 for those of you that are paying attention to that. I have to watch out. The market is bouncing, so a firm is going to start coming back into the upside. It's that time to look for anything that you like to the short side. Oh, goodness. I'm not going to get that offer on Intel. That's like 20 cents away. Intel's not even bouncing with the market. That kind of sucks. I was kind of looking to see if that would be closer to VWAP, and I could be shorting Intel, but once again, it's just right on those lows. So that might not come into play for me, quite unfortunately. Fubo might end up being a long consolidation around here somewhere instead of catching a dip buy, which I wish I had when I was paying attention to Rivian. That would have been more attractive. Well, it would have been attractive for a long. And as a matter of fact, I'll get out in front of 85 in case it does dip back here. I like this one both on a dip to VWAP, but if it can hold this top end and consolidate there for a potential break, it's a triple top the last couple of days. So we'll see what can happen there in Fubo TV. You want something that's running, like Megal, running, Rivian, making moves. So off that 40, it's going to do something. It's not going to sit here all day. And then Fubo has a chance to take out these highs, maybe get to 10%.
Yeah, we never got stopped out of our AMD, but it still is flashing around here. 77.10 is where VWAP is, so we're going to try to use that as our out. I told you if it breaks 77, we'd get out, but we just upped it a couple pennies higher than that. I don't ever want to get out on the exact break of a level, and so that's the plan there. So if you see me still in the full position, I don't have any outs yet here. I mean, we have outs all the way down. I'm now going to bid here in the 70s and see if that one can fill. I am looking for a meta short right now. I actually like this level short. I'm going to wait for another little bump up here. If we can get something in the 70s, or sorry, I'm offering 60s. If we can get that for meta, and I'm just trying to be as specific as I can here. I mean, it's not that specific. It's just I'd rather short couple more pennies higher than this, like 20 pennies higher, get that short, and then play off of this right here, 151. I mean, I just want to play off that. We'll see if it can hold. We have the 200 period and the VWAP right here to the upside. Plus, we know it's a pretty weak name. We've already taken out 151.80, but let's see if it has a little bit of action to the upside. Just a check back on Rivian. I'm not in this again. I mean, this is the same position, and I literally have 10% left. So this is a no-brainer for me. If this one wants to come back up, we'll be punching out there at 40, and it looks like it wants to do that ASAP. Don't tell me we're going to get an inside day here. Megal, again, before I go over to, I mean, not inside day, but close, we could have. There goes Rivian out. So that's all good. We're out of Rivian. Megal right now trying to take 7 as well. Give us another name here, Brendan.
Pinterest, more volume coming back in, guys. There was this spike that happened early on. Citron was tweeting about that Google angle again on the takeover side of things. Apparently, a ton of March calls going off right now on Pinterest.
Yeah, that Google, Pinterest, obviously being talked about a little bit there. I want to get to, I was just asked a question about Starbucks. So one of the stronger names in the market today, someone was asking if I see a trading opportunity. I mean, if it stops going sideways, sure. And would I sit in this trade? I'm thinking about whether it's worthwhile to sit in this to the long side as it consolidates at VWAP. But the break was this morning, and the relative strength in Starbucks started yesterday. Sean brought the news of the turnaround that they had. And then relative strength, if you get a dead cat bounce, you had this 90 on the daily, which is gorgeous for a breakout. And then when it broke 90, it was straight shot to the upside. Managed to get to this level here, this 92, breakout at 92 at that top as well. And then you're going to see it fail at 93.5. But, hey, it's still supporting this 92 area. So that could be something. However, as I said, it has now been in this 30-cent range for an hour now. So a little more exciting if you can get out of it. I guess you could sit long. I could sit long in front of 92 looking for the breakout, but then you're just waiting, kind of hoping it moves when it hasn't done a thing. The market's even bouncing right now, and Starbucks isn't moving anymore. So it's kind of pulling that Neo thing where you just stop doing anything in the final hour of the day. I need to see this break out of the range, and almost either direction would be good, but I feel like Starbucks has made its move.
All right, let's go with a new trade alert here, a new name, Oracle. Yesterday they came out with earnings, and it was a big day for them, and they sort of fought the law, and the law won there. So, yesterday it made that move up to 79. Obviously, it gave some back there. Strong report for Oracle, basically taking it right to that 80 level there, and then stopped again. That's why technical analysis, whether or not you believe in it or not, I mean, there goes Megal, first of all. Just broke 7, but stopped. Didn't do anything, went to 708. I'll talk about that in a minute. But here we go, Oracle, that top. I'm not worried about anything on the daily, just showing you guys that today, week, down 5%. So here's the minute chart for it. it already took down that 72. 72 was pretty key. If I call up, where's the 20-minute chart? There it is right here. So 72 was the bottom there earlier on today. And as you could see, I got to get rid of this thing right there. You know, back into here, 73, 73, 50. I mean, if these levels ever come into play, that was the short. It's just kind of like how Meta and all that kind of stuff. I think it was Amazon as well, barcoding like this. The minute you get these breaks, like, look at this, boom, 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 good earnings, rocketed to the upside here, touched that past support of 80 bucks, and then fell right back into this level. And then this is the missed trade of the day, really. Like, and I wasn't even looking at Oracle early, should have been, but like once you break that, these aren't 52-week lows or anything, but I think you can get pretty specific here with like a 73.50 level. Forget about some of these wicks. I mean, if you want to get real specific, it's 73.25, but either way, it breaks that and comes all the way to 72. So I feel like you do have some negativity here in Oracle, which by the way is now 10 cents in the money. We'll see if it can go even more than that. But there's Oracle right now. And my out is pretty clear on this. There's 72.30. I was actually hoping, this is not a huge position for me. I was hoping that we'd get more. My out was going to be here, 72.40. I actually just put it out to get out if it breaks that. So just feel like that's, you know, there. There's some stuff here. 72.50 maybe. I just want to take a bigger position and put on something. But here comes Oracle. It's down that 5%. And it's a new trade alert here for us as we still hold AMD $1 in the money. And as I just said, Oracle is now a whopping 10 cents in the money here. But I like the short. I'm just going to clean up this wick so it can look a little bit better there. That wicked all the way to 75. That did not happen.
Yeah, speaking of wicks, I was just getting into NIO rejected 22. So this morning I was looking at that 22. We never really got it because it got up to like 21.95. It did break very briefly here. Got to 22.10. Couldn't take up the quarter high from yesterday, and it's right back to 22. This wick isn't real either, but going to be shorting this one off of the high of the day here as the market trying to get back to the upside and stalling out just a little bit there. So you're not getting a ton of movement. And by the way, Rivian. So this is another wick too. It broke 40 for like a split second and right back down into the 80s. So it just feels like that level, it's still, maybe even just give it to like 40.10 or something like that next time. Like it just feels like it's still very valid up here. Now, yes, it's having some trouble following through, but until it probably has to get to like 10s or something like that, yeah, you're not really seeing a heck of a lot of follow through. There's still sellers at the price, which means I want to join them once again. So we'll keep going back to that well one more time. I just added back into a firm as well. And for those of you that are still paying attention to it, I'm sure there are. I feel like the opportunity was on that level in the daily chart on HKD, and it never really made a run. Like there was that last halt, and unless you're just taking it into the halt or taking the open, which I wouldn't have done, you really didn't get the short. It's now halted again, 195. So, you know, this feels like it is trying to unwind, but if it had broken and gotten to that 300 and reversed, I might have taken a shot at it, but there was really no trade to be had. Back into Rivian, I'll give it a little bit more wiggle room this time through.
Yeah, hit the like button. You're right there, Devin, the real dude. What's up, Devin, the real dude 07? Sure. Thanks for bringing that up, guys. If you can hit smash the like button, don't hit it, smash it. That would be great for us and for the YouTube algorithm. We just talked about that on Megal. I thought, and wrong. Well, actually, I mean, it went to 77.40 there. I mean, you'd had to have been able to get that trade, though, of course. So I said that, you know, once 7 broke, which is right here, it would have these moves. So the very first move is up to 20. The second move is up to 35. And then it pulls right back down. So if you're just joining us for the first time here and you didn't watch me talk about Megal before, here it is right here on the 20-minute. So we've already taken that 675 level. Now we're starting to make, you know, higher. You're always going to get wicks like this when the stock is trading the way these low floats do, but there it is right there up to 740. So I don't know, you guys are better than me trading these, that's for sure. So watch out for Megal. Just want to give everyone an update that it is right there. So we'll wait for that on there, but you can see crude right now down to 88 bucks, but still many of those names working. We talked about CVX earlier as well. Chevron, a name that I think that people should be diversifying into, and there it is. We just talked about this today, up 1.79% now, Chevron. I mean, I don't know about it for a day trade, but it's still hanging out a nice little deal there. As you guys already know, we're already all over XLE and some of the Canadian counterparts. Okay, Oracle, what are you doing there, bud? Oracle just went all the way down, oops, and we didn't get any out. It went down to 07s. I'm actually waiting at 5. That's fine. Here it comes back to the upside. We'll see if it wants to take it out. The market is starting to be above now and hold above the 50 period. So that's a little bit of a problem. Was sort of thinking that we would fade out. When I was doing the trade of the day, the NASDAQ was only up 0.1. Now you're up 0.5. So a little bit of a move back here for the NASDAQ. We still could test the high of the day. I mean, that's not out of the question for me either. Right now on the NASDAQ, you still have a minute 20, an hour 20 to go before this day is over. So here goes Oracle. You remember when I said like this was not a huge position? So we are going to put more on. My average, actually, no, I don't want to wait for 24s. What the hell is that? I want to wait for a little bit higher. My next average is there at 34. So I want to try to wait until we get up here. I mean, that's like 28, 29. We'll put an offer there. I am looking to get short Meta as well. That's almost in the 60s where we would short that name. So a few things dancing around here. And Brendan always has some story. What's up?
Another one of these low float recent additions on the NASDAQ starting to go. iLag, remember iLag? It opened way up here and just absolutely collapsed to $2. Just broke $2 again. Back to the upside for iLag.
Those key levels. I'm going to get to that one in a second.
Meta
You meant,
came within pennies there. That's okay.
it happens, man. I did just get into the consolidation Fubo. I still like the notion of the dip buy, but if we want to hold a consolidation around this 5, I'll give it a relative. Like last time I had this as well, I'll give it to like 95, maybe closer to 93s, and see if this can get back into the upside. The volume's starting to try to pick up there again. I did roll into Neo just now, so I got that one to the short side, so we'll add. Well, I guess we're not going to add to it unless it gets a little bit closer to the high of the day there on NIO. Rivian, as I mentioned, still holding that 40 level. So as long as it does, it's rinse and repeat back here. Let me zoom in. I got to clean some of these wicks up for you guys. But it just got 95 or 97s, 96, 97s the last couple of times. Gets them out in the 80s, gets them out in the 70s. It has not been able to break 39.60 at any point this afternoon. So that would be, if it gets there, I think we could see a VWAP test to the downside. Just over the futures, just to show you guys what we're looking at and what we're dealing with here, is a 60-minute on the NASDAQ. But we are right now diddling in the middle on the NASDAQ. So, I want to find something that's at resistance, knowing that it's pretty strong. If it breaks out, it has a chance to maybe run because we're not at the highs. But yeah, make sure you're trading at a key level on the stock individually, because on the futures, we're pretty much in the middle of the range. If we stay there, that kind of sucks. It would be nice to see if we could go one direction or the other, like we have. Clearly yesterday we did, and that was to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm waiting at 59 for Meta. It went to 61. We were at 64. Like we mentioned, we were in the 60s, so now we're going to wait for that one. If it does come up, we will take a short. I'm just looking at making sure that I want this Oracle short, which I do. So the Oracle short's going to stay legitimized, as is all of our other plays here. So just waiting on that one. AMD just kind of not doing much there. We'll wait to see where it goes. What else you guys want to talk about here? CMRA, SoFi, yeah, forget about SoFi. Uber is crazy strong. Missed Tesla. Oh, what's up, JD? Missed Tesla twice, 30 cents, and Google once. 1 cent. Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm with you on that one, JD. Let's have a quick look on Google. Like I said, that happens pretty much all the time. I mean, I missed the Meta one by 5 cents there. It's only 20 cents in the money, but still. All right, Google today, again, not super strong, less than the market. Some of these bottoms, like I said, now I've got to wait for the 21st to see how the market reacts to the number what's it going to be, right? 1.75 basis points on that 100 or 75 basis points. But right down here for Google, this is definitely a name I want to buy. As you're looking right now, missing that Meta short hurts even more now as you're back into the 30s. But Google could be another one of those names to short. Meta, I'm trying to pick on names that are down. That's why you see me with this Oracle short. And we just missed the reload. Remember, I was like, oh, I don't want to reload 24s. I mean, it went to 24. I don't know if I would have got it or not, but there it is, a nice little crank to the downside. I told you where I was sitting here. I'm sitting at 06 right now. So let's see if 06 will fill us up here on Oracle. We're now going to go to our guest of the day. And the thing about this guest of the day is we talked about this with him last week, and I know that he was looking short, and there has been a nice little short move in the last couple days. So let's see if he is still driving around that RAV4 or if he switched over to a Bentley.
It's a reasonable car.
I think so.
Yeah.
Was it the Bentley SUV or the...
Ask him.
Hey, Andrew.
What is up, guys?
There he
Good
is.
morning, good afternoon. How are we all doing?
It's Raider Trader time. We're happy to have him on as always. Yeah, it's been quite the couple days here to the downside, as Sean was mentioning. I was on vacay, but tell me all about these shorts you were discussing.
Okay, so a lot of what we were talking about was Apple. That was actually my big trade for September. Each month we try to make a big trade, as oftentimes there's often one or two big opportunities or movements per month, just with how expirations work. So Apple was our foreseen big short, but there was also a lot of other names we were shorting. We're looking into some of these bigger caps, even banks, some of them we're looking to short. So obviously the CPI kind of elevated that with the negative 4%, almost 5% day yesterday. But overall, Apple continued weakness. I'm going to keep drilling this into all you guys, is that the large caps are going to start falling here, specifically Apple. If you want to share my screen real quick, we have Mr. Apple up on here right now. So Apple right now, this was of our short. We were taking shorts up here with obviously the market weakness. But when we were taking shorts back here, coming around, big score. Those went over 400%. Right now, we're holding for around late September for an October move. And this is going to be the big trade I hope that all you guys can catch. Is that obviously not financial advice or anything. These are my opinions. But if we can stay under this 156 area, just, this is going to be a great ad zone for puts for around, the 1017 expiration. If you want to go more late September, as people are piling into calls, there's actually a ton of flow, millions and millions of dollars in calls piling in for that 1017. And as a market maker, you got to balance the chain. You got to balance the money on these. So they are going to, that does work in favor to speed up the velocity to the downside. Conversely, a matter of fact, if you have calls, likely the overweight is going to be paying in the puts. So if you do get a gap below 152, that's how we know we right. We're going to add to the trade, because as us professional traders, we add to trades and cut the ones we lose and add to the winners.
Did you just say pain in the puts? I like that.
Yep.
That's all yours. That's all yours. Take credit. I want to. Yeah, they were not a fan, but it is what it is. I wanted to ask you about this. We'll get back to the tech stocks. I wanted to ask you about this M&A type idea as well. We've had a few questions regarding M&A rumors that kind of pop up, and who better to answer said questions than someone who focuses on options for a living. And I'm speaking specifically about this pins idea. It's not the first time that Citron's been out tweeting about this Google Pinterest tie-up and the idea of that happening. And then now we see this huge chunk of, I think it was March. It was March calls that went off on that rumor when it came out again today. Again, Citron, I guess, pumping this idea. Give me your thoughts here. I mean, not this deal specific, but with that kind of an idea where it's kind of floating around in the interwebs, how do you approach that?
Yeah, so for ideas that have a macro perspective, specifically the outlooks of companies, mergers, stuff like that, as options traders, the best capitalizations for options, you can have leap plays, what we call are the longer expirations, calls on SPY for next year, whatever. Typically, though, I like to think in a few month components at most. These markets are volatile, especially in this day and age. Entering an age of liquidity, an age of, where we couldn't even break previously. We could barely break NASDAQ highs for almost 20 years. And so nowadays, we're just soaring through those levels, huge amounts of money moving around. And ultimately, it's going to give you kind of an outlook. If you're investing 2 to 3, 4 months at a time, it's going to make you a lot smarter, a lot more in grasp, in tune with the market. Whereas if you're doing these leap plays and you're going to go, okay, I'm going to buy calls for next March, you're going to be fighting psychology when something goes down the hole later, and you're going to battle, oh, do I sell? But I have so many more months. If you just make those smaller time frames go, you know what, this is something I want to hold for, then add to that. Add for a few months out. Few months at a time will do the trick if you truly believe in some of these plays like that, Pinterest and whatever things. But leap trades has to match kind of the cycle, or we don't care too much. If the market cycle doesn't match what the leap play is, then we don't care, right? If we're just coming out of a bear market, then we're going to be looking at leaps in growth and in financials, the early recoveries, and towards the mid recoveries, such as industrials and stuff like that.
There's one area maybe of, let's just say growth, just for conversation's sake. Any of the growth names that you had to pick at this point that were kind of showing more signs of strength than the overall market? I mean, we touched on PayPal a little bit this morning as it held up way better than the rest. throughout what happened yesterday to the overall market. And then we come in today, it's gapping up higher, gets an upgrade, holds up a little bit better once again today. If you had to kind of go in and pull out one thing that made more sense on the long side from a growth perspective, what would that be?
Definitely a lot of media stocks. So we're looking at Meta, any of those, Google, Facebook, those kind of things. Those are going to be kind of the best early bouncers for the market. You're going to, obviously Meta, Google is another one. Facebook is Meta now. But these names right here are probably going to be the best, the early bouncers. That's XLC. So a lot of you, if you are wondering what, ETF, what do I look at? XLC, ticker XLC is your communication sector. These stocks are going to get probably the best early bounce. And I'd be looking into those, mid-October or start of October as we start to recover in the market.
So you're looking out, still a month or two in advance. If we get into, earnings are going to obviously come the first couple of weeks of October. What do you need to see from that to kind of have more conviction behind that idea?
Yeah, so first of all, we're kind of praying, if you want to share my screen here for a second, this is still an output. This is the magic chart. I know Sean and Neil are going to eat this up, but this is what we had last time. This is our nice little magic chart. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't touched it. So as far as we can see, I have the guidelines for the market here. But we do expect new lows. We need liquidations. This is a concept I always talk about, but liquidations are essential because what that does is it essentially kind of frees up the weight. You make a new low, you start to create new opportunity. And so what that new signifies is it creates emotion, it creates max fear, all that stuff. And then that's when markets reward, is when that peak fear, peak risk is encountered. So as far as what I want to see, right, short term, every pop in this market is probably going to be a short until the first week of October. This is because this late September weakness is going to be prevalent. But until October, we need those new lows. Once we see those new lows right here, is a little good visual demonstration of what we expect in the market is from mid-October, we have that pivot and we have that move to the upside.
Yo, what's up, Andrew? Oh, no, I don't have to talk about that chart, do I? There we go. Okay, what's going on, my man? We just hit a nice little hit here on Meta going short. I'm just going to cover a little piece. Well, actually, we already covered a couple pieces here on Meta. There it goes to the downside. Okay, yes, Meta, printing, baby. Andrew, I'm going to do this to you, so watch out right now. You like money, right?
Yes, I love money.
All right, well, then there
money.
you go. Here we go. We got to spin that money out for you. Great calls on some of those plays there. That was a beautiful chart. It looks like you drew it to those points, but as you said, you kept that up there for everybody here. So last week we did ask Andrew a couple questions, right? And so I'm going to do it again this week. If you were to have pizza, what would you have on it?
Oh, pineapple. I'm a big pineapple guy. I know that's controversial, but I am a true believer in fruit on pizza.
Actually, Andrew, you don't actually like pineapple on pizza.
There we go.
No,
Yeah, Neil.
I think I do, Neil. I think I would.
Wow, I think I do, Neil. There we go. I like this kid even more.
I typically don't like having the vegetable garden on my pizza, so.
Okay, he's down with
I
that.
need to see it to believe it.
He likes that.
I need to see you eat a slice with pineapple on it and actually enjoy that bad boy before I'm believing anything. I think you're trying to troll me, which is fine. It's cool, man.
I'll make sure to get a slice for next week. I'll get one. Big pineapple slice for you.
I might get one as well. I'm down with the pineapple pizza as well there.
You're Italian.
But okay, so that was that. The next thing is this. Do you ever, are you planning on any vacations coming up, or are you more like all of us where, time away from the market is really less money in your pocket, so you don't like to take any vacations? What is your plan here as we head into the winter months?
I'm both. So I do like money in my pocket, but let's see if we can do it traveling, right? By that onboard Wi-Fi. I am going to New Zealand in January, so that's why I plan to make that. It's a 17-hour flight. And it's kind of weird because I leave on a Thursday and get there on like a Saturday. But when I come back to the States, I leave on a Saturday and get there on a Saturday. It doesn't make sense. But anyway.
It actually does make sense. I can explain it to you that off camera.
But I am meeting my mentor Zach. So we have a secret offshore evil lair in New Zealand. So we're gonna go out there and kick it back.
Maybe you'd invite me next time, and we'll come. We'll have some pineapple.
Zach made a donation to you guys, I think, last week, and that was for the plane tickets. If you guys wanted to come, so.
Oh, I didn't see that. Hopefully, tell him to send another one, and then we'll get that going. You're welcome to come up to Toronto, by the way, anytime you're here in the good old north here for you. So
Great
you can
white north.
come up here. You're in
Oh, I'll come
Ohio,
there
you
soon.
mentioned.
I'll come there soon.
Yeah, that's not even that far, man. That's just a little small trip. Get that passport ready and get over here. Neil, you want to talk about anything market-based, as apparently I don't?
Well, you got me thrown in a bit of a kerfuffle there with the whole pizza thing, which is fine. It's okay, Andrew. Nobody's perfect. You're obviously pretty close to it. But Ohio, you should definitely come up to be sure. But I did want to sort of get your thoughts on. You've talked energy before, and you've talked oil, and we actually have had a few people in the chat sort of talking about natural gas or nat gas, and I don't know if this is something you've been playing. And I'm bringing it up because we just had a huge spike, obviously not just today, but there was a spike just now breaking out at 9, getting about to like a 9.25. What do you see for energy? And I'm going to cheat, say specifically nat gas, only because we've had some questions about that just even this afternoon. Like, what are your thoughts here in the upcoming weeks? Big moves today.
Yeah, so we played short on energy not too long ago, but as far as the big pictures of things, we do kind of expect a rotation out of it. Right now, we are still getting that money in, but rotation, expect it to be out of energy soon. This is actually one of those things where it's like, okay, but energy's going crazy. Like, should we trade it? Should we trade it? My recommendation is probably not to trade it right now, but the big rotation, it's more of like a CPI continuation right now. So you're gonna get that pump, you're gonna get the energy juice in there, but some slight strength for a while, but then after a while you'll probably see that once again big rotation out of there. And then until then, expect strength next 2-3 days, and then after that you're going to be looking in the next few weeks. You're going to be looking at that strength, but eventually, look for those shorts. Like I said, guys, this stuff is going to show weakness. September is going to be the time to short these pops and to get that Apple under 152.
You're getting some questions. Well, there's some questions in the chat because you mentioned you have a mentor that's Zach. So if you wanted to say there was a question. It's like, who is Zach? Who's your mentor? If you wanted to say a little bit about them and thank them. Thank Zach for the super chat. Of course, last time he came on.
Yeah, so absolutely. So Zach, he's my mentor. I can't say his last name just because he doesn't like that media attention. But his last name is Raider. He's my dad. No, I'm kidding. But as far as mentors, he has taught me everything he's done in his life, and he's kind of picked me up. He is on our Discord, so if you ever want to come, listen to some of those lessons he gives, that education, whatever, just time with it. We talk a lot about the markets and a lot of stuff that's not about the markets. We go over, as strange as it was, we went over war tactics one time, and we relate it to the markets. We relate it to how humans think, and this is just as important as everything. But if you guys do want to come in there, meet with the guys, have a call with them. We do host, some nightly calls where we just go over stuff, watch lists, stuff like that. Just come hang out, be a part of that. And you can meet Zach, but unfortunately he does not have a last name of Raider, so he can't put Trader after. So his name would be lame on the media. So.
That's the reason. Look, thank you as always. But everybody needs a mentor in trading. Not just in trading, I think in life in general, whatever your career might be, having someone around you or people around you, I guess is the best way to think about it too, that can help you grow your career, help you to grow as an individual and professionally as well, as an important one. So shout out to Zach for doing that for you. As always, it's a blast. If you get a chance, come through Toronto. We'd love to have you. And of course, we'll have you back next week. It is Raider Trader once again back. And if you have questions for him, shoot them out. And the next week we'll be able to get those to Andrew. Thanks, Andrew.
Yes, sir. Yep, absolutely, guys.
I don't know. I missed what he did there. I don't know.
I don't know. He just basically disappeared off I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. All right, that's Raider Trader there. By the way, meanwhile, as he was going, man, it's Hot Dog Nation now as the wins just keep on coming through. There's Meta. We talked about Meta before we had that guy on there, and there it is, man. Meta with the 150.60 short all the way back down in, man. So there it is, all the way back down to 150 again goes Meta. So let's see if it comes to 149.80, so on and so forth. There it is right there, $500 from Evolving Finance. So there it is. We have to show you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Raider Trader, for that one there. There it is. Nice little job there for that. Thank you. There's the plane ticket. So I will be coming to New Zealand pretty soon. Nah, probably not.
You've been to
I've never been
Australia?
that far. I've been to Singapore, of course, with Day Trade the World.
So you know what's crazy? So
Never been to New Zealand.
My wife's entire family, except for her, went to New Zealand. But I think she was starting university. Maybe it was first year university or something.
Right.
So the whole family got to go, and then she didn't get a chance. So I get bugged about that. It's like at some point you want to go because you always want to go on the trip that you missed. Right? Like your family got to go. My ex got to go to Vegas, and I didn't, and I paid for it. So I want to go to Vegas. It's just that thing, but I've heard it's gorgeous out there. So thank you, Zach. Would love to be able to visit. That sounds like a heck of a lot of fun. But when I talked about nat gas, I saw a lot of people were asking about it, and there was this big breakout just now. Broke that 9. Obviously, volume's tapering off right now, but it broke out right at 230, I think, when it's closed there. But pulling back and not doing a heck of a lot of volume. Energy tends to slow down at this time anyways, right? We all understand that. So there was a big move. And I don't know if I showed the daily. I'm missing a couple of days data, but you can sort of see we're getting very close to some recent highs here. Maybe like 5 to 7% away from some recent highs there on nat gas. So some pretty key levels that are coming into play, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about nat gas before there with Russia and everything, and all that Nord Stream 1 and 2 and all that. So okay, there it is. Yes, sir. Finally, there it is, man. We'll get some money back in the bags here again today as, Meta now collapsing down in. And this is the thing. Wow, what I would have been so furious had I not changed my offer. So, like, you guys are going to say, I mean, and this is the thing, right? Whether or not, you're following us, somebody else, whatever, like, here is the exact tick. You guys saw me. I said I was putting my offer at 159 or 150.59. There's the fill. You see it in the blotter. It's on the account, and there's the win. This is real trading, real cash, and there it is right there for Meta. Boom. Taking some out. We'll see if it can continue its move to the downside. But that's how I'm trading, man. Real talk, real everything. There it is, Meta to the downside. So hopefully you guys are following today, man. We're pretty much perfect. The only mistake that we had early was this Apple take right there at 155. It's amazing that it went to 157. I'm calling that a mistake. It's a mistake because it fell back down and we got out. But we did take that bottom once we got out and rode that all the way back up. But other than that, man, Apple, AMD, I mean, thank you. Come again on AMD right now. It's more money there as we shorted that 78. And we actually have a pretty cool thing. As I was doing, me and Brendan met with SneakerCon. They're going to be coming. They're doing an event here Saturday, Sunday at the Enercare Center. They're going to be coming on Friday. And the discussion is that, when we discussed with him, is that he's going to be bringing on the Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones live here in studio. So that's going to be happening Friday, hopefully. I mean,
we'll need some security.
Looks like we do have security. I'm going to have Tony standing right there. And then that's going to happen there. SneakerCon, almost 4 million followers on Instagram, and their posts get 10,000 likes. Hopefully we get that for us as well. But SneakerCon going to be coming through. But what I was talking about there is, as we were talking with the gentleman from SneakerCon, he talked about my AMD and me talking about 78, and I said, good luck with that. So here's as we were talking with him, there's the short for 78, and here it comes all the way back down, and there's our take. We almost got ticked out, man. Remember when we were playing that VWAP? It almost hits it, and then there's the take back down in. So right now, what are we sitting on? Dollar winner, real trades. Dollar winner on AMD, more, right? More than that. Meta now cracking down. You saw me take that live, so no comments on that one. And then how about this? I didn't even realize this. We got reloaded. I was too busy watching that play there. We got reloaded on, there we go, just punch a little bit out there at 10. On Oracle, look where we take that Oracle reload. We're very, very patient, man. We talked about that, Phil. Here it comes. Doot, 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 bang. We just sit there, take it. And now Oracle printing us as well. So these is all real talk, real trades. So happy to put them on for you. And now we're just cranking in that money today on some of these calls. So there it is, man. Some shows are busy, some shows aren't. But for me right now, we've got 3 shorts. We're holding on to them. Let's see what this market wants to do. Good out there.
Go down.
By the way, we have a couple outs right now on Oracle there. So that was a good take. What was it going on?
No, I'll say, what does the market want to do? Market wants to go down. Again, I mean, it's a broken record, but yeah, we're going down the side again. And Rivian 40. Look, if the market goes down and Rivian doesn't break 40, Rivian's going to have to come down too. So it just made another turn. It still has yet to break 60. So out some in the 80s, out some in the 70s. I should have a bid down at 62 just in case it gets down there. But Rivian just doing the same dance that it's been doing this entire time. I also rolled into Neo, though that maybe not rolling down as much. My chart's getting a little slow, guys. There we go. Roll down. It just got to like 2190s. I'll take some out of the 80s as well as it tries to get down into VWAP. So you're getting some movement there. That honk HKD. don't know why I'm calling it that. That's halted again. For those of you that are keeping score, it is halted to the upside for the first time in a little bit, bouncing off of $130. I would feel like if it got back to like 220, 230, it runs into some resistance at that price, but we'll see. I don't think I'll be trading it. It's power hour now. I think the one shot that made some sense to me was up around $300. Now it's not going to make a heck of a lot of sense to me, unfortunately. I'm going to go to Nvidia because this is one from the morning that I still like. There we go. Come on. Below VWAP, if it's going to hold this channel, and the futures are going to hold the bottom of this channel, here's the ES, the NASDAQ will show you the same thing, where you're holding a bottom channel instead of the top, then I want to short that channel. Otherwise, look at the 130 level for a breakdown on Nvidia. It did get through that price and stalled out at about 129 earlier on today, but 130, a big one for Nvidia. And then Tesla also making some moves here. As you can wow, these charts. Is it just broke VWAP and is trying to break $300. But it had a hard rejection at 302. This is in territory to roll over. This goes, I mean, Rivian and NIO are going to follow it very likely. But the market's showing signs of weakness here. Again, I should say.
Yeah, good. Good for the weakness for sure. But it's kind of... it's trying to take the 50 period to the upside. Let's see if it can bounce. Hopefully it'll bounce. This is just, I'm looking at a 1 minute chart here on the NASDAQ. So, take that with a grain of salt. It's not the holy grail by any stretch of the imagination. What I really try to do is just try to look at like longer term, but kind of zoom it out. This chart is where I don't look at yesterday's levels. We actually have different charts for that, and I'll call those up in a minute here. But right now, the NASDAQ's trying to go back to the upside. We'll just wait to see. It's still almost completely in the middle again for today's range. So like we said, up 0.35, that's pretty good. We've been up higher, we've been lower. The fact that we got out of more than half of our Oracle is pretty good there. We just took out another piece as well at 22 there as it broke back above. So, a couple good outs here as we made that move. There's actually two outs. I know you guys can't see those. There's actually two outs right there at 10. So they're just layered on top of each other when that came down there. Just got filled and then actually punched some out. You saw me punch out and then we got filled at the same time. What has made a move back up to the upside? We're still sitting here for the short, I believe. Yeah, so now I've changed my meta offer. It's up near that 151. It needs to get up here, so we're actually right up here. And there it goes again, man. We're out 20, 40, 60. We're at a 60% of this. If it comes back up to the upside, fine. This is kind of what I want to have happen. I don't mind getting more short into Meta, especially if we are going to come up here and look at this name. It's my number one name today, Meta, I believe, and actually scratch that. AMD is my number one name profit-wise, but here it's making a move back up right now. Maybe I'll take a little, maybe I'll take a little short here. In the 60s, if now it's running away. We'll take a little short in the 60s if we can get it, which isn't bad. And then I do want to take some more here in the 80s and then respect that 151. So if that gets taken out, fine. We do have the imbalances coming. It's only 308, so that's not going to be a major factor for any reason. But let's see if that goes now. Meta upside now to 150.60. We're going to look for some more shorts one more time. Toilet Tuesday, yeah, that was what was yesterday. We actually liked that one. Now, I'm not in love with Meta.
Tom Petty Tuesday.
Yeah, Tom Petty Tuesday was good. The free falling, that was a great one. It's not that I'm not obsessed with Meta by any stretch of the imagination. It's just when you're sitting here day trading, we have to make moves here, especially at the end of the day, right? So Meta, big move yesterday and a continuation today at 52-week lows, which is why I'm looking at it. That's Meta. I mean, we're in Oracle as well. That's falling back down, and then we're in AMD. I'd like to get into something else. We talked about Roblox early. I mean, I know I don't have any shares left on Rivian. I know that's fallen back down a little bit, but not doing much.
No, it's right back.
Yeah.
I think I just got, I got a partial fill up there. I'm sitting at 98, and I just got a partial fill. Right, it's just rinse and repeat, man. Like at some point, it's going to take this, either it falls to VWAP or it takes this level out for good. But until that happens, we just go back over to the same thing, and this 40's been a wall. So I don't see any reason to get away from the trade just yet.
Yeah, no, I don't. I punched out of that Rivian there again. I'm going to wait to see where we go from that one. Just looking here quickly at crypto. Why not? Let's do a quick little refresh here. Do we have a crypto segment coming up soon? Maybe no, we don't right now, not in the after show here.
should
Okay,
do that in
so
the afternoon.
here we go. It's just fun. It's not funny. I mean, I wish crypto kept going up, but now the 7 days only up 5% here, which we've given a lot back. There's that high there. We can click on the chart, but I just want to do a quick rundown. Bitcoin now 19.8, Ethereum back down to 15.8, which is good. Ripple. These are just some of the ones that I look at there. Cardano there back to 47 cents. A lot of these names not really doing too much. Litecoin 59. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to look at. Matic right there with Polygon down, up now. But if you look here, the last 1 hour has been a little bit to the downside. So here's a chart for Bitcoin. Brendan already talked about this right when we started the show. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but where's the move? There it is right there, breaking that 20,000, which was right there. It almost immediately fell $400 down to 19,600, made a move back to 20, and now is really in the middle. So it's at 19,871, a little higher than that middle price, but still just hovering around. A really nice move though for crypto off that I mean, we'll go to a. Let's just go to a let's go to a 1 day chart. I was going to do a 12, yeah, maybe 12 hours might have been better, but a nice move off some of those bottoms. So we probably have to test it again here. 18.6, there's the move back to 25. So wow, what a great move for Bitcoin that just happened there, 25 there. And then there's the dip back, and then there's the latest retracement back to 22.4, 22.5 or so before another dip down. So yeah, still looks pretty healthy on the chart, to be honest with you. It's not great that we failed the 100 period right here, so that's not great. But at the same time, as long as we can hold the 17.6 bottom, or at least 17, then maybe you have some protection there for Bitcoin. Remember, it kind of goes with the NASDAQ, man. I mean, there's no surprise that you get that big move there yesterday and into today as well, off of what happened yesterday in the NASDAQ. So that's a little bit of talk about Bitcoin. Coinbase has its other stories surrounding it as well. Roblox also right now taking down. Oh, we did get some more short in Meta. Okay, so there it is. We do get that short there in Meta. So let's start punching out a little bit here for yet again another winner. The carnival's open, and we're here to take advantage.
Uh-oh, I was trying to clean this wick up. Don't crash, don't crash. You're going to crash on me.
Boom.
So anyways, Frank just asked, am I taking profit on Rivian? I have 33 fills on Rivian and have been short 6 times off 40. So the answer is yes. Like, I'm actually bidding right now. I put my black chart up because the other one, when I tried to clean up these wicks, just went away from me. So I am getting out every single time it dips down. That's the play. Like, otherwise you'd just be sitting short at like $39.99, just waiting for a big flush, which hasn't really happened yet. So I'm not going to do that. You're going to want to make sure that you're getting something out of the fact that it's showing that resistance. I guess I can, yeah, there you go. I can show my 15-minute chart up here. Getting out every single time, but I'm not getting the whole thing out. I am always holding to see if it can make a bigger move to the downside. If the market were to flush, then suddenly I think there's more room for Rivian to get at least down to like 39.30, 39.40 if it breaks that 60. So yeah, take some profit, but understand that there could be a bigger move if the market takes out some of these lows. That's always going to be a part of the game. And I forgot to mention, I talked about NEO, your firm short. SoFi's not moving, so I'm not going to bother with it. I have a stop there. If it hits, it hits. Otherwise, I'll hold out, hope that it can take out the high. But Fubo is the other one that I did grab, thinking we had some juice to the upside. Unfortunately, like it's still consolidating off the top here. You're not really seeing much of anything happen. This is my 15, I have to go load up my other chart again, but this is now consolidating off the top. It will not break the high. It's only going sideways. There's been no dip into 40.80 either, so I do have to wait around for this. And the longer it goes here, I might just take this one out because it doesn't seem to want to go anywhere. I did have an offer. Oh, forget about it. Not going to hit on Nvidia, but Tesla, that 300 level, still in play here as it did bounce. It didn't get to 302. I would have liked to have shorted this 302 level, but 300 still barcoding. This is the middle at 300. So I either want it short off of 02s, or maybe you could play longs on 99. I'd rather favor the shorts because the market's weak. So that 302 is where I would like to be able to get this. It bounced off 300. There's a chance to be able to get that. That would put me 3 EVs short, but they're a little weaker today than in the afternoon than they were yesterday.
Problem is, like, Meta cannot catch up to AMD as my #1 stock because I'm still short AMD as well. So as this market, yes, sir, as this market collapses, man, there it is. Boom, what a good trade. I mean, honestly, the thing that makes It's not, and like I said, after talking with gentlemen from SneakerCon and things like that, and from seeing the Twitter and for seeing everything that you guys do, all the messages to me and everything, and it's just like, I'm happy to make money. There's no doubt about that, but I'm really just happy that, you know, I know that some of you guys are taking these trades as well, and it's like when they work out, like this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about, short and out, reload that short and out. And not only that, like talking our way through these trades, like that's what we're all about, right? Trying to educate, trying to entertain, trying to inform you. So there's the short, there's the other short, and here are some outs. So we're day traders, we're scalping these markets. We have to be flat at 4 o'clock. But these trades, I mean, today on Meta have been absolutely banger shorts all day. Let's see if we could take out that bottom. And then we also have, like right now, yes, sir. Let's go a little bit of basketball action right now as the Raptors getting ready to play again. Here goes AMD, man. $1.20 now in the money on the AMD short, 70 cents in the money on our Meta short. And we just put this trade on. Look at Oracle. This name, short there, short again, and Oracle's all the way back down there. So right now, so far today, man, it's been a good one. We'll do a little backflip here, and then without any further ado, here's one for Brendan that we haven't done in a while. Let's throw it over to Brendan at the big desk.
Which one was it? I can't remember.
Dada.
Oh, right. Yeah. Nucor, about to make a day low here. I just read worst day in 2.5 years for Nucor. They cut their forecast on some melting issues that are coming up for them. So back to day lows here. I mean, the overall market back to day lows, but ugly day here. 11% for NUE.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much. Where's my down arrow? This is ridiculous. I'll hit this one because I'm having this thing where, like, see, some of mine are just literally gone. But there we go. Market be falling. So
yeah,
Affirm just roll over. That's back down before 24. I'm just looking for VWAP retracements across the board here. It was asked before, are we on bids of Rivian as it comes to the downside? The answer on Rivian is yes. It is still doing the same thing it's doing, which just gives you right back in 40s, free money, right down to like 60 to 70. It's not free. You have to actually get the short, and then you have to get out of it, all that kind of good stuff. NEO, I just took another leg out of that one as well as it continues to roll to the downside here. When this eventually loads up, there you go. It's headed possibly down into VWAP. This one, I'm just going to sit in front of VWAP on this for sure. But the story of why that's happening is because the market, this is the ES, just took out those lows. I'm showing you the ES because the NASDAQ is at the low. The NASDAQ has not broken the lows just yet, but it's getting darn close. Looks like that's going to be the case here. As we hit the bottom, rock bottom on the NASDAQ, everything is now going to be falling to the downside. Don't really see anything holding up here to the long side, although SoFi hasn't broken, but that doesn't matter.
From that to this, guys, it is a little bit of that. We just took a piece out on Meta, so now we're getting light. There's another 20% out. We only have 20% left on Meta as it goes down to 149.70. That's going to be a trigger spot for us. I actually punched this out. I did not have a bid. I should have been bidding there at 81s. That was that bottom right there, but it did break it. So the fact that I didn't have an order there means that when it comes back, and it just was like, where are we? Into the 70s, because I was also watching, by the way, like, look what Oracle's doing right now again to the downside. So yeah, today's going to be a great day. Definitely making up for yesterday with these calls. So far so good. And the idea here is, I talked about this yesterday, man. Nightmares abound about that market. So today I basically only short, right? So that's what it is. Have the ability to do that. Have the ability to switch up your game plans. Yesterday was a disastrous day trying to catch some longs. Today, completely opposite, man. I mean, AMD, we went back and forth with AMD a little bit early, but our first position was short, then it was long, and then we just waited and now we're really cashing in on this one. $1.25 in the money. Meta, we only look short today. That's good. And then Oracle, we just took it up right now, and Oracle just rockets up the board again for one of the #1 stocks here today on the show. So good job there for Oracle off one fill. Like, that's the thing. If you guys want to trade like that, this is I mean, whatever fill you want. I have 2 fills, but up here at 72.30, good fill there for Oracle as it keeps on making the moves down. I'm just going to hold the rest of these into the close, man. I mean, honestly, Oracle right here, I'm light. Like I said, I don't have too much left for AMD. Let's just see if this wants to fall. We're now well below the 50 period. I talked about that right here. There it is falling down. And we just got another Oracle bid. So there's another one right there into that low. So there's another Oracle fill. That one is 45 cents there on Oracle rate, and we just put that trade on, so that's 45 cents in 20 minutes to the downside there. If you played options or anything, you took a 72 put, something like that, that's hopefully printing now for you as well as that comes to the downside. But yeah, so far so good here. And those of you that are asking, yeah, we just trade equity, right? So no options, nothing like that. These are physical shares that we trade back and forth, not CFDs, nothing. And that's why we have to be flat at 4. We trade on a prop firm. Thank you so much, SciTech there for the $2. That means a lot. Again, thanks to Evolving Finance there for the $500 super chat as well. Yeah, so far so good, man, as we go. And again, there's the $1.99. Thank you so much for that super chat. And thanks to Bears vs. Bulls doing a great job, man. I'm going to go and grab a coffee here and bring that into the close. So far so good, man. I'm going to sit on these hands, watch this money come through, spin it up again, and see where we land, because I don't think we're going upside anymore.
And the other thing, too, is, look, we thank you guys so much for the super chats, but it's not even about that. It's about the sense of community. We appreciate it. But all we ever ask you guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, grow the community. That's more important, because it's like having a trading floor the size of a football stadium where everyone gets to have a little bit of say and we get to share and learn from each other, which is an incredible experience. And Brendan brought up Nucor, and I wanted to talk U.S. Steel for a quick second here, because it's starting to get down to prices where, you know, the last few times it was down around this $20 range. You did have a good consolidation and break up. So when it makes support at these even levels, it tends to be pretty juicy. Down 10%, Nucor down 11, U.S. Steel down 10%, or just shy of 10%. And even if it breaks that, you get back down to these July lows, down at 17 even. I think you could see a potential bounce down there. One thing we haven't mentioned at all is, and if you're trading the railroad names or maybe some of the retailers that would be impacted by that, you're going to want to watch out to see what happens with this railroad strike. And if it does, that could be a bit of trouble for some retail names, to be sure. So that's one thing we haven't maybe mentioned, but bears mentioning, obviously. We're going to go back over a firm here. We just grabbed another out in the 80s, still resisting 23.75. So I have to respect that, but those highs at 24.20 have been absolutely fantastic. And the market maybe not the market bouncing that much, but Nvidia just shot back up after breaking 130, just shot right back into that 130 level, back into the upside, as both the NASDAQ and the ES try to bounce off of some of those lows. I'm going to grab it right at that 130 mark, Nvidia to the sell side, to see if it can try to roll over again. And thank you, Beat Fanatic. Thank you very much. Of course, another super chat there. We appreciate a new member there. Jose, we love the new members. Join up. Become a part of the family. It's a lot of fun, to be sure. I know you guys will enjoy it every single day. Tesla, not to say that I want to add a fifth short. It's trying to hold below that 300 level. I don't want to compromise here. I would have wanted this one short at 302. So Nvidia, I don't mind, because 130 is a price that I wanted. But Tesla down at 300 doesn't make as much sense. So I'll stick with Nvidia, which we just grabbed on that little volume spike. It wasn't even a big volume spike. It was just this little wick here. Volume wasn't that big, but it just ran anyways. Gives the 130 and is immediately starting to retrace. So every time we see pops, and this was true yesterday too, right? Like you'd gravitate to the upside, but when the stocks would come down, it was like the bid would just fall. So it was so much easier for stocks to fall, and that's the environment that we're in, because there aren't a lot of bids out there in the market, at least the last couple of days.
Yeah, no bids. Like I said, I'm not sure there's going to be any today or not, but we're just going to sit here. Like I said, we got our coffee. Cheers to anybody else out there with one. Nice and hot. Okay, Global Star, I guess one of their VPs bought some more shares, so we'll go over to GSAT right now. It did make a move up. I think it's AM, isn't it?
Yeah, it's AMEX.
GSAT, there it is. On the AMEX there, the NYSE American Exchange. Yeah, wow, a nice move for Snowflake. You guys are right about that. 197.50. Watch out for that break on Snowflake. I'll talk about that in a minute. But there's GSAT. That news came right here. You see the volume spike to the upside, running this thing from 177 up to 183. Thing is, like, I'm seeing VP. So, like, if he's on the board, or I don't know, VP of GSAT. I don't know why he's called a VP, but anyways, the news is there. It might be a scheduled buy. Like, it says 14,000. I mean, Brendan could probably confirm that. That's what's in my pocket. Oh, my phone.
14,000.
That's not. Like that, what I'm saying is that's not, if it's 14,000 contracts of like options or something, that might be a little bit of a different story. But 14,000 shares, like that's not a big, huge deal there for GSAT. But anyways, I just want to bring that to your attention because I know there's some of you that trade this. And of course, GSAT is off of that Apple news there in their new iPhones. They're going to be putting the satellite deal there with GSAT. So as I choke, also had some grapes back there. What's up, Brendan?
I saw 250,000 notional, so that math would not work. But yeah, it was 250,000 notional that they picked up.
Okay, so
yeah, I mean that's at least something because
100,000 shares. Maybe it's 140,000. That must be the math.
That makes more sense.
140,000.
So whoever put that, 140,000. That math is right. That's more significant.
Because they probably bought it for $1. I mean, whenever they bought it. I mean, down.
Oh no, it was $1.70.
$1.75. Yeah, okay, whatever that math is. So good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm glad we did get that all figured out there. So
and that's what it's all about.
A little bit of quick math right there. Yeah, that's why I saw the story and was like, yeah, that doesn't really make too much sense. Okay, just a quick review on some of the trades here because I could say that I want to sit here and hold them all day. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the right trade. Doesn't necessarily mean that we can't get back in and average into more. And I feel like we just missed that opportunity. This just ripped right back to the 50 period. That is Meta, and now starting to make that move back down in. A name that's still really strong is Amazon here. Amazon's been upside pretty much, I don't want to say all day, but it's trying to test again. Looks a lot different than AMD, Meta, all these plays, but you're still trying to dip down into 127. Still up 0.4%. Still could hold this 127 area. So that could be a little bit of a pause for concern if we come back down. There's that wick once it broke that first time, but it only went to 90. So take that in consideration. Look at the big, I wonder if there was news. There might have been news right at 2 o'clock or something about Amazon. That's the biggest, at least from what I can see anyways. Is it the biggest sell candle? Yeah, it is. It's the biggest sell candle despite the opening print there. That happened at 2 o'clock. The interesting thing about that sell candle, of course, is that there's a wick bottom, then it comes back up, and then the second largest sell candle of the day happens, and then we wick bottom again. So they tried to bring this thing down like through 127 on big sell orders, but we're unable to do that. So let's wait. Yes, I mean, now we're at the highest spot we've been at all day, which is great. But right there, 127 coming into play now for Amazon right there. So we'll see if it can break that and make a lower low. But it's going to have to break 126.90. If you zoom this back out, even if you break that 126.90, there's that bottom 126.50. So just watch out. It's a relatively strong name today. And if you think that the move is just going to be back to the bottom, which we're at right now, and then a retracement back up, I think you might want to look long Amazon around 127.
Ooh. I guess I was about to say no long, but then I still have SoFi. I'm just going to punch it. It's not moving. I've had it all day, and it's just like it's not.
Oh, you're in Amazon?
No, SoFi. It's like the only long. It's not moving. I get it, but if it doesn't break a stop, it's like why would I get out of it if it hasn't broken the stop? It's 330, so I have to anyways. Nvidia came right back to that 130 level. Now it's retesting back to this 129.5. So it looks like it just spiked up and then fell right back down as the bid once again seems to want to evaporate. I mean, I can tell you that Rivian bounced off 40 and is now back at 39.90. It just keeps on doing its dance. There's no need to go over that one over and over again. And you guys kind of already know what's happening. Affirm it caught a bid at 23.80 and it's been respecting 23.75. So I've thrown another bid down in here to get some in the 80s as well on Affirm, and of course still working Neo. If we do get a pop, well, okay, forget it. I guess that's not going to happen. I was going to say Tesla would be one that I would want to grab if it does want to try to make an upward move, but that's now southbound from that 300 level. Looks like 300 is the new resistance for Tesla. We'll get an early look at the imbalances if they even matter in about a minute or so. We'll see if they can get going. There was, and I'm only, look, I understand it was moving, so want to cover it, and everyone, a lot of people are like, but why talk about HKD, or why you're not talking about HKD? It did make a bottom at 130. I wish I'd actually, I was sort of saying to myself, it probably should not get past that 220 again after consolidating there in the halt down. I guess it was worth it to look short, but it's not as crazy as it was before. You're not really halting every couple of minutes or so. It has rejected on a lower high, so I think you could see VWAP or 130s. That found support, and it was a breakout price, so there might be some buyers down at 130, though you're getting late in the session at this point. So that kind of move sometimes waits around until there's the buyers can wait around until there's less liquidity in the aftermarket and then try to buy it up at that point. But HKD headed right back into VWAP, it seems.
Sometimes you should just take your own advice because look where Amazon is. It went down to 127.17 there. And I was like, if you think the market's just going to do this kind of kangaroo action, as Brad likes to say, you want to buy Amazon, and there it is right there. So it could have made another 30 cents back to the long side. I've given up net about 50 cents as I try to do the math here on my positions by holding. I mean, that's now. I mean, on AMD, that's a bunch of times now. I mean, it's 2 times, but a bunch of different candles here on the 1 minute that have touched this 76.50 and stopped every single time. So let's see if it can make a move back down here for AMD. I mean, if you drop it down to like a 3-minute chart or something like that, then it's not going to look as crazy. But again, some nice positions here early. There's the short at 78, and here's the move down. When you look at it like this, you sort of say like maybe 76.26, something like that as an out. But here we go. Yes, good thing we held on to that one and didn't get out as it just hits the like look at this 50 period. You want to talk about Luca adding it, traders adding it to their charts here. Like that 50 period has really been respected by AMD, and once again it just hits it one more time. So if you guys want this, like I said, I know there's traders that have added this. It's just a simple moving average on their 1 minute chart, and it's a 50 period. That's been good tell there. So that's so far so good. Let's see if it breaks this. Like I want to be here for the short. I mean, the market right now is trying to break, and it's now gone negative. So it is actually breaking the low right now. It's already taken out the intraday low. So this intraday low is just now, or actually I guess it's just right here. So it's actually, it's literally, like someone put a thing that we should have a graphic for literally.
Is it figuratively taking the low, or?
It is both figuratively and literally taking the low right now. But it actually, neither of those happened because it bounced off the low exactly right there. So wow, talk about an exact bounce like that. Basically off that wick, it just stopped again, and that's like 12,094 basically that bottom. So yeah, and there's AMD respecting that bottom one more time again. So bouncing off, I think it's pretty smart to hold it there. I just see it here. Wow, okay, we have, thanks to Brendan, I saw it as well there on Twitter, there on the Twitter machine. 800 million to sell right now. That's one of the bigger numbers that we've had at this part of the day to come through. But remember, what was it? It was yesterday or the day before. It was 1.2 billion, and it didn't do anything.
No, it didn't. It was tiny, and then it came out 1.2 billion. We saw absolutely nothing happen a couple of days ago. So that was a fail. The market is doing, I don't know how quickly I can hit 2 of these. Yeah, Nvidia goes right up to 130. Sometimes it's like, if the stock goes to a price and there are no buyers up there, then usually it reverses. That's now happening again off that 130. You're back to the lows of the days, as Sean mentioned. So back to the low, rinse and repeat on this name as well. You're not really holding up a heck of a lot anywhere. I'm just showing you guys Tesla as it's getting that 300. I should have gotten away from wanting 302s and just said 300 is a good level because Nvidia was doing 130 to 129. 300 into 299. Like you're basically getting the exact same thing where you're finding these channels and just being able to respect them. That was the small cap here. It wasn't Megal. It was ATXG, I want to say, was the other small cap we're looking at. Megal's back down at $6. I think it was ATXG making some moves to the upside. And then, by the way, Rivian. So if there's an update in the market tomorrow, and there's a chance at a 40 breakout on Rivian, I think it just has to be respected because it's simply, the market is on the lows and Rivian will not completely break down. I don't even want to reload it anymore, man. Like it just feels like eventually it has to break. If it's so up 3%, market on the bottoms, at some point you got to feel like this is going to break out in the midst of what happens in the market here. If we get an update, Rivian 40 long is going to be absolutely gorgeous. That has to be on watch tomorrow. Like I wasn't looking long on Rivian today. If I'm not looking long above 40 tomorrow on Rivian, then that's just ridiculous because the stock is strong. As much as the 40 short has been giving you like entries and it's just sort of a nice scalp trade, the 40 long feels like it has all the upside in the world. This is what it looks like on the daily chart, by the way. On the daily in Rivian, there's air above this 40 level. It's a huge level, so we got to be looking for this for the long side tomorrow if it does indeed happen. There's no guarantees. I can't tell you it's going to be an update in the market, but if it is, 40s on Rivian has to be long.
All right, so time to respect this move back upside. I mean, I just, we can clear it out. There's only 25 minutes left. If we can end at the highest spot we've been at all day with kind of the calls that we've been making, I'll be happy with this. So here it is, man. You're going to break above this 76.80 on AMD, then we're going to get gone. It's now just retesting again, back testing this 50 period, as you can see right here. The most it's gone up against the 50 period was like 6 or 7 pennies. So right now we're at that 70 mark. So I'm going to give it a little more love to 80, 81. That would confirm this break, right? Like it only broke it and went up 5 cents was the max. And that happened right here at 2 o'clock. So if it goes more than 5-6 cents, then we'll get out that 76.80. That's going to be a good one. Meta. It's funny, like Meta and AMD are basically neck on how much we've made on this. I feel like I've already missed that here on Meta. We should have got another piece out there, but so far so good. I mean, all of these, you want to talk about reloads. I mean, these reloads right there have been pretty good, but we missed the out again down there at the bottom. So the futures just keep on ticking down, man. And just like the futures, look at that. It went down to the exact penny again, 149.50 or so. I guess it's 47 that it went right back down into. So I'm going to hold on to the Meta, but I am going to respect. And the Oracle, whatever, that name, I'm very flat on most of these names, just holding small pieces. The biggest one that I'm worried about is AMD, because I just don't want that one to get away from us, because I could see myself reshorting this at 77.10. What's up, Brendo?
Hood, guys, not the first time, probably won't be the last, but FTX rumors floating around once again for Robinhood just popping up.
Yeah, I'm not following.
The only, I don't know. What,
it's a little bit late in the day to try to fade a move like that, because I think we probably have to pay for shorts on Robinhood, if I'm guessing.
Oh, that's FTX. Is that what you just talked about there, Brendan? The official takeover, yeah. So there it is.
Is it real, though? I mean, the rumor's been there forever.
It's not even a rumor. I mean, it's just, remember he took out, what was it, 12% or something?
Yeah, 11, 10, 11.
I just typed in FTX, that's not a symbol. He took, whatever that percent was, that SBF. And by the way, like we had SBF on our show like 6-8 months ago there, and now, I mean, he was already famous, but now
it was before he was in front of Congress.
All the talk of the town there. So here it is right now. It's not a big, huge move to the upside. I mean, I think that's one of the only saviors for Robinhood would be somebody that comes in there. FTX obviously wanting some of those licenses, I would assume anyways. I don't even know, are they licenses? I just know that FTX right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, it might not be federally. There could be some states where you can trade using FTX. I'm just wondering if that's part of the play. On the 1 day here, 11.50. It's going to need to break above 12 to get rid of all of this. This goes all the way back to April. Like, what a great bottom at 7 there, 650. And again, it's doubled since the bottom, but who's catching that bottom? There's a lot of names that we can look at that one. Okay, so AMD failed, so that's good. One name that I want to talk about that we did a show where it was like these stocks are never going to get back to all-time highs or even close to it. My choice was Beyond Meat, but I actually said this is never going to get back to 50, which actually scared me a little bit because it did get back to 45, but right now just took down 52-week lows. So it's intraday lows. It closed there at 2060 on eSignal. We are now making brand new 52-week lows here. So some of those prints might just be on our system there. But Beyond Meat with a big time movement down. You want to talk about a name that hasn't had any love whatsoever. It does get some bump ups here. Like, I wonder what that was all about on some of those bumps. But I know they're trying out all their products. I know my daughter switched to vegetarian, and we buy her the Beyond Meat when she wants it. She's fine with anything, the California burgers, whatever. But I don't. For me personally, I don't really even like the taste of them. So it's a little different for me. But I do understand that.
Not bad, but not good.
It's not bad. I mean, I'm comparing everything to the real deal.
Exactly. That's the problem. It's not like it's bad. It's just like it's just not good.
I just don't. It's a texture. I'm not feeling the flavor actually of it. But yeah, anyways, it's not bad. It grills up nice. It looks like a burger. But there it is right there, $35-40. I just want to bring this to attention too, because honestly, if I had saw this a little bit earlier and I did see it, but it was already like barcoding. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, so this is the new low. It just has to close lower than this to make a new 52-week intraday closing low. But right there, 19, so we already have seen this. There's that 1978. The reason why I haven't brought it up yet is because it's not doing anything and it's just bouncing around this $20 mark. So I think this could be a trade for tomorrow here on Beyond Meat because now we're making new lows. So I'm gonna look at BYND tomorrow. Be surprised if that's not on the sticky note. I have to sort of remind myself though.
Yeah, and just when I was talking about Fubo and continuously trying to take scalp trades off that 5, because I think it has room to go and everything, it's worth mentioning. Like, that was mine. I think it's never seen those tops again. But I did look at short interest and potential to maybe move here. And look, it could break out from here. And that's the thing on the daily chart. It does set up, as a day trade, it does set up. But you might have talked to Nvidia. I did just get out, and maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it's still good. There's the wick, there's that 130, it worked a couple of times, the third time was not a charm, although I guess if I hold and don't stop when it breaks out of that channel, you could still be in this and it's still working to the downside. But I stopped out at that 130. About 10 minutes until we get the imbalances, 20 minutes until the end of the day here. Still some room for the markets as they're trying to bounce off those lows. And if you favor the short, that really just means where do you want to get out? I already know where I am in Rivian. Just a few pennies above that 40. It did break 40 a couple of times here, get a couple of cents above that, so I'm giving it a few cents. But I have taken most of it out, and I think I wouldn't go long here now at 340, but if I see this level break tomorrow, that's a much different story there for Rivian. We'll be all over that one if it gets there. Tesla trying to reclaim 300 here. That could be an interesting break. Like if this number came out to buy off that 800 million sell, then maybe some of these could actually break and have some room to the upside as there would be profit taking from maybe some shorts or people that look to get into it. But probably going to be looking for longs more like tomorrow. I don't know if I want to play to the long side. If the shorts want to work going into 350, then hang on to the ones that are still in play. Affirm still in the money. NEO still below that 22, even as the market's bouncing to the upside. I don't know if I want to add to them, and I did take out SoFi eventually. It's like it's not going anywhere. It did get back to 10s. It couldn't get past 13s. The last time SoFi had a move like this, I remember the second day being better than the first. So with that in mind, it has the potential, if it holds 6 again, maybe a breakout tomorrow like 615. There's some gap to be filled up to 650. So I'll have it on the radar, but it was a bit of a nothing burger today. Unless he caught the absolute bottom, which I didn't. SoFi, okay, but most of the move was just gapping up overnight and then not doing a heck of a lot.
Okay, so I actually want to show you guys something pretty cool here that I just found out with. So there's a new iOS 16 here, obviously for Apple. So this is the picture that my wife took with me and my daughter here at T-ball as she won Most Improved Player. We've talked about that. So this is the picture, and watch what you could do with this here now with iOS 16 there. You can just take out the background and just get this going. So it's pretty cool. She's been doing that for a couple of the different pictures. So it really just isolates that one part. Just wanted to show that to you because I was like, oh my God, we got a new update there. And then that was one of the things there. So that was pretty cool about Apple v Android. I thought I was getting out of Meta. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, not Meta. AMD I'm gonna get out. We're almost out of that one as now it's retraced all the way back up and we are gonna get that fill out at 80 as I just watched. There it is. Yep, okay, good. So there we go. We're out now at 80. It took a second to trigger there. We got 83s, so not a great fill. I was wondering, like, why didn't that punch me out? But okay, that closes that trade, and that puts in our pocket right there as we are going to finish the day, like I said, at the highs here one more time. So that was pretty cool there with iOS. I don't know if you guys ever had that. No, so the feature from Google, which I really like as well, is where you can get out the background. You can probably steal that and put that out. I don't know, but I was just saying that was pretty cool. If you guys have iPhones, check that out on iOS 16. That was pretty cool. Okay, so there we're out on that one. Quickly here, Oracle's retraced all the way back up. I mean, it is looking like a decent short, off this period right there. You could take it. I'm not going to. I'm just going to punch out. I have 5% left of this trade. It's 10% left of this, but because we had an averaged in price, it's now 5%. So, we'll get out if that breaks it. But again, Oracle, a big stock for me. And then Meta actually made its way all the way back up. So we don't have a big piece on this one either. But if you take down the 200 period, then we're going to get out. It just happens to be for flat. So that sucks. We'll give back a little bit of money here on Meta, but we already cashed it out. Like, taking that bottom, just right there. When I was looking, I was like, oh, here's the NASDAQ at the bottom again. We should have probably taken out Meta, but hey, if it breaks that bottom, it's see you later. Remember, it was 800 to sell. Brennan's still saying no change. So only 5 minutes until these imbalances.
I kind of feel like it's going to be a buy, but look, obviously that's tempered by the fact that we just rallied to the upside there a little bit. So back to close to flat. It's still in the money before 5 cents on a couple of these, but I'll give them back to break even, or at 350, I'll just put a trail in on some of those. Tesla did break 300. I still kind of like this. If it comes back and dips, this could be a nice little play off of the 300 level. I mean, Nvidia just ran off that 130. So yeah, this is why I'm kind of thinking you could come out to the buy side. We'll see. But that 130 is gone. Like, don't hold on to it. If it breaks out, that's the level to work off of. Still a chance this could fail VWAP, but we're getting a little bit late in the day to be too worried about that. I did want to double check just because out of morbid curiosity for myself, and because HKD halted to the upside. I saw someone typing HKD, and I'm like, okay, well maybe it's doing something. Looks like it caught another bid. This could be interesting tomorrow, especially if it tries to retest that high and fails it. I think if it fails the 300 again, then you should see back to 100. And if it breaks it, well, it was at 2,500 before. And if it goes there again, then I'll get some calisthenics in, because it's not going to, quite frankly. That's not going out on a limb. It's ridiculous if it gets to 2,500. But it happened once. It could happen again. I don't think it's going to, obviously. But if Tesla dips back into 300, I'll look to play off that 300 level for a quick little dip buy. Hopefully, they can get that in before the imbalances come out.
That HKD there was a delivery problem with the shares that time. I don't think it can get up that high again, but
it makes no sense.
It shouldn't. That's for sure. Okay, so far so good here on the hold for Meta as that's retraced back down. It almost punched us out again. And like I said, I can't be more real than to tell you guys where my outs are, set the trade, and just let it happen on the screen. So that didn't get wicked out there. It went up to 60, didn't do anything, and then fell back down. So lucky to be safe for now. I do think that we are going to get punched out of this as the market is now, solidly above the 50 period. And that's that. So we'll have to wait to see what happens now. But hey, that's my out. Oracle did fall back down as well. That's just bouncing off that period. I feel like what I'm trying to do here, honestly, especially with this Oracle trade, it is a New York name. So on these imbalances, when they do come out, and I'm just going to get rid of ARCA right here, New York names tend to be a little more aggressive than NASDAQ names. So I'm going to wait to see here if there is anything that comes through on Oracle, possibly as a sell side. You're down 5%, so I'd rather not get out of this. But again, I have to hold this. We're going to be out in a minute here on Meta because the futures right now ripping to the high side again. But I want to try to wait for this imbalance to come out. So if I cannot get stopped out from now till then, that would be good. But it looks like we will take a stop out on Meta in just a matter of seconds as it's right back into the 50s. And as the NASDAQ, like we said, man, it's just dancing. It went down and tested that exact bottom to the minute, to the number. And then now it's right back up, testing that high in the afternoon one more time again. So back and forth, market can't make up its mind. How the heck am I going to? So I'm going to stay out of this. I already have the shorts on. It's only 20 cents each play. We'll wait to see that one. This is the second time that we've heard about Snow in the chat. And I really like this name. I'm actually long this name in the 140s. I don't plan on selling this. I sort of took it as like Palantir. This is much stronger though than Palantir. It's still below. I have to see where this one IPO. For some reason, I'm thinking like 250, but that might have been the high for Snowflake. But anyways, 197. It's looking like it's trying to break.
I thought it broke 300 the first day.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, your rate. This is a name to look at for tomorrow for sure. Like, there's the drop yesterday. I mean, what other names do you know of that are right back to their high or to where they were pre-drop of the CPI number? I have one for you, Snowflake. And I'm not talking about like, the big runner stocks.
Starbucks.
This is Starbucks is a good one too. I mean, Starbucks never really.
Very different.
Is it? I mean, I don't really know what the story here is with Snowflake, but yeah, Starbucks and Snowflake, both names that definitely got going here pretty quickly. So let's look at this for a 200 break tomorrow. I like here's a Snowflake chart. 200 tomorrow is going to be definitely in play here for Snow. That might be a good option level there.
Look, there are a couple of other names too. I mean, Starbucks, Uber is another one. Thank you guys in the chat. You guys are putting the few names I think that fall into that category. But Uber is one. Roblox, I believe, got to the tops. But Uber's setting up for a bit of a breakout, whether you believe in it or not. Look at the daily, 33.5, 34. That's spicy. You get an actual strong day in the market, and this is the kind of thing that has room to run. Like that's between this gap to the next high is a good 10% move. And you got 5 points today in a relatively weak day in the market. That's what we want to see. Bounces coming in about 30 seconds or so. I have my trail on Neo. My stop out on Affirm is just going to be literally at this recent high. There it is. Stops in place. So if we break the highs, if Affirm breaks the highs and then bounces, I'll just get out automatically, and I have a bid down here at those recent lows. So to make sure that we get it, but it bounces in about 10 seconds. I'll get mine set up just so we have these live for you guys, because we always do. I got two trails on. Where is it? There it is.
Yeah.
Here's my bounce locator. I want to make sure we have that one for you. I'm kind of thinking it could come out to buy, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, both stocks just trailed out on me.
Cisco down right now. Apple sell, probably creating some downside pressure there. I would say, I mean, I don't know what the net is. I mean, the market's really not doing anything on that print. So we'll see what does come out once we get it for you. But there's Apple on the sell side. So that actually, oops, that's a daily chart. That won't tell us anything. Here's the minute chart. We'll call that back up for you right now. Where's Apple? There it is. So let's see what that's doing. It's actually doing nothing on that. Cisco, 3 million to sell. That should be decent. They're 3 million, but no, again, not doing anything. Just going to zoom in for you so you could see. We just got out of Meta as the market goes back up to the upside. Intel with a sell. Ooh, yuck. Intel's down to 29. Yuck. Right there. Okay, so that's making a move down. That's not Bros. That's Broa. Other than that, yeah, not much on there that I don't think you guys would be too interested in. CPRX. I don't know what this is.
I mean, it moved a little bit
11 million shares. This one gapped higher.
It gapped,
actually,
yeah, it moved.
On a buy.
What is
So
CPRX?
that's a big gap right there from 1520 all the way to 1540 on that gap. CPRX making moves.
Catalyst Pharmaceuticals. So, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you get these randos and like maybe there's something happening on Friday in like one of the small cap indexes or something. But either way, like it moved 20 cents. The move is gone here. I don't know if you can really play it. And usually when I want to fade something like that, it would be at the high of the day. It would be on a big cap name where you know there's likely to be people wanting to offset it. You're sort of guessing here that this could get offset at about 15.50. So I wouldn't put that trade on. Not going to do it. But Intel, that pretty much always pairs off. So I wouldn't expect that to be there. And the overall market did bounce a little bit on that. So I don't know that the big... I mean, it came at 400 to sell, but we bounced anyway, so I guess it wasn't a buy and bounce, but the market's still catching a bit of a bid off of that. I got trail out of both of my shorts that were left on. There's Affirm. I can throw up the 15-minute. So you broke that high, the recent high, now headed to the upside. Looks like both Tesla and Nvidia did continue their moves as well to that upside. So we're going to end possibly, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but the NASDAQ and the ES are both green. So barring disaster, the market's going to actually end up today.
I'm on my account. Okay, quickly here, just looking. All right, yeah, Katrine asking me stuff about my account here. Yeah, no news really hitting the wires anywhere. I'm going to get out at 72.31 if it does break. Good out there. I mean, we can't do it any better on Meta. We take that out just as we said there. Breaks above and out, so no love lost here for Meta as we get out at that 60. And now look at it starting to rip up to the upside. That's why it's like I'm not trying to play around when these imbalances come out. It's like, just get out. It's one of those random things that Meta and or the market will just start to go based on what those are. And look what I'm saying. We tested that bottom. We talked about that figuratively, literally, and then all the way back up to the upside. And there it is, man. Now testing this high right there again. So, all right, what a violent day, to be honest with you. Some big moves early, back and forth, a little bit of trickery there, including Meta with a big move down, taking out the 52-week low, and never got back there, right? Making brand new 52-week lows, and still not above that price that we shorted early. So probably should have still been in that, as there it is. And and like I said, a violent day because you go down $2, we make that $2 winner, then you rip up another 3, and then you tank 5. So, I mean, it's pretty busy, man, today. And there's another move up, another move down. So this is why I always look at Meta. It always has a move to it. But this market is really going now. Tesla still over that 300. It looks like it's going to sit there today and just relax, chill out. I don't think you're going to have a downside move in the next 5 minutes. But look at that 299 here. That held beautifully on Tesla. So again, I just feel like some of these bottoms, they had so many chances to break and they held. So I'm going to say tomorrow is going to be another update. At least I think we're going to start with an update tomorrow. Some of these bottoms held. We can go over to Microsoft. We can go over to Apple. A lot of these plays here today. I mean, Microsoft's not very strong today, which is kind of strange. But yeah, holding that 250 area, that could be a real spot. If it's a down day tomorrow, watch out for 250 for Softy. We were long it today, I guess, or was that, yeah, today. Made some decent money on Microsoft, but yeah, that 250, wow, that's another one. Ooh, I'm glad I looked at Microsoft. So tomorrow, Beyond Meat, I gotta write these down. Here's today's sticky note. We're gonna just get rid of it and put some names on it for tomorrow already. Beyond Meat and Softy.
Oh, the irony. So both Fubo and SoFi just went to the upside. Like SoFi just broke the high of the day now at 355 and Fubo broke higher. But you know what hasn't broken in the move to the upside? Rivian is at 40.02. Like it is barely moving. Like it took out 40, stopped out, and it's not going anywhere. There's still sellers at this price on this stock. I just mentioned, I'll show it to you guys, that SoFi, it finally decided to make a move there. Not a huge one. I mean, it's still at 620, but that's pretty much what you wanted to do all day long. And then the same thing with Fubo. Fubo actually taking out the highs as well. But Rivian, that's crazy that even with the market doing what it does, and now it goes to 40.12, as I just said that, it's starting to make a move. Wow, Nvidia, now $1.20 off that 130 level? I suppose every single out on those shorts was like an obvious reverse. I didn't think it was an obvious reverse, but clearly it was in retrospect. 355 hits, so usually get some pairing off the imbalances. Everything that was over a million has paired to under a million. So every imbalance that we said that was big, I don't see any of them still on the board. That's yeah, none of those things are still there. Intel, or was that small cap, that's gone as well. So nothing significant left on the imbalances.
No, I'm just looking at some of the trades here, because you just talked about Nvidia. Obviously, AMD goes back up to the upside. For me, I mean, the minute you're breaking this, it's just too bad that, I mean, it's always too bad that the show has to end and that the day's over. By the way, hit the like button right now. I think we were pretty light the last time I looked. Yeah, 1K. Okay, like we were getting 2,000 last week, guys. Like let's hit that like button again here. But there it is right there. I feel like, again, this, to me, like Neil said, I mean, I don't know if it's going up, down, and around, but like that break of 77 was also right there with VWAP. So AMD making that move to the upside one more time. There's not enough time left in the day here, as we only have 3 minutes, but I think that could have been taken for a long back in. We'll wait to see if 78 holds tomorrow. Yeah, it's always nice when you are off the bottom near the end of the day. So we'll wait to see what happens tomorrow. Oil today as well. I got to fill up on the way home, but that won't affect this what happened today. But nice little move up there, 1.6%. Oil holds that bottom all day of 88. I mean, not all day. We started below it, but there's 88, held it now up to 89. We'll see what oil does near the end of the day. Oh, there it is again.
This is getting real, this market.
Like, yeah, it's getting real, but we have to say something there as well, because it doesn't work on my chat, but let's show the chat.
I got it.
There it is. Yeah, big thank you to True Trading Group there, again, who are sponsoring the last part of the show here today. So thank you, True Trading. They sponsored the open. They sponsored the close. Make sure you join these guys after, not before 4 o'clock, after 4 o'clock, as you'll be able to see that. And show, not just that, show the link. There's also, just for people that can't see it, there's the link right in the chat. So hit that link. Go join those guys. We want to thank them as well. And I've become friends with them on Twitter as well. So what's up, guys? Thank you for the sponsorship and thank you for the link. But don't try to steal Tony from us, because then we wouldn't have a bell ringer in the back there.
No.
Tony ain't going nowhere, right, Tony?
Of course not.
There it is. Yeah, he gives a thumbs up there. But thanks to True Trading Group. Make sure you check them out. Thanks for the 50 memberships. Thanks for the support, and make sure you click that link.
Absolutely. And just one last thing. We got 2 minutes to go. Bed Bath & Beyond went $8.50 to $9 and back to $8.75. So like this, it was almost like a melt up just across the board. It's not just like Nvidia and Tesla and some of the things we're showing you. I saw Bed Bath & Beyond. AMC made a bit of a move at the end of the day. You saw Rivian, SoFi. Everything just, the offer just evaporated at the close. Maybe some short covering to be short, but this should be on our radar. Why not? Anything that's breaking out late that wants to hold support tomorrow. Maybe we get a bit of a relief rally tomorrow. Last I checked is Thursday. I was about to say Friday. And we were talking about the rebalances because of that one stock in the Russell, I think that had the big imbalance. But no, that is on Friday. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday. So a couple of days until we get options expiration and quarterly rebalancing. But some fireworks coming late in the session here, and it extended to squeeze stocks. Almost everything I'm looking at took out some big levels and headed to the upside, which does give you some hope that we could see a better day to the upside tomorrow. The NASDAQ now, like we could see 1% by the end of
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We could see 1% and high of the day in 40 seconds if it can get there. So pretty strong end of the day here. You got to love that. When the market can end, not just holding the lows, but getting to the highs, nothing wrong with that.
Thank you so much to Scott Henderson as well. We're going to ring the bell there. Amazing trades today, mate, or stats today. Great trading. Thank you so much, man. I mean, that's what I'm here for, to make some of these trades, make a little bit of money, bring them home to my family, who tonight we have coding. So I take the kids to coding tonight. They're leveling up, man. They're already Java. I mean, they're 8 and 10 years old, but coding class tonight. The wife and I will diddle at Costco, see if we can find some nice value there as we go. Here we go with only 4 seconds left. We got to lower it. 3, 2, and 1. And there it is. Thank you, Tony. Oh, we get a smile at the end of the day as well there. Thanks to Tony for ringing the bell. He was there in the morning as well. I keep saying we need to switch it up, but I guess no one volunteering. Maybe tomorrow we can have Batman ring the bell or something like that.
We could have Sharif break the bell.
I just got the thumbs up. Yeah, or Prad could ring the bell, or one of those guys could ring the bell at one point.
Well, maybe not Prad. But.
Oh, and Arun back next week as well. So not back on the show, but back on the futures updates on Monday. But okay, speak of futures updates, can we get an update on the markets here, Brendo?
Yeah, we end up not quite getting to 1%, guys, for the NASDAQ, but what a close. Yeah, they shrug off that imbalance, go straight to the moon into the close here. The NASDAQ 0.86, 0.39 for the S&P. The Dow didn't quite get there. I was just double checking to make sure that it did stay red, and it did. 0.15 still to the downside for the Dow. But yeah, I mean, a sign, hopefully, of things to come tomorrow for the NASDAQ and the S&P.
Yep, strong end of the day. We'll take it.
Could also trap people. You know, that's the problem, man. And I got to give a big shout out to Shakib if you're around. He did call a big market move today to the upside. There it was. So hopefully you're able to make some money on that. My day was great, and all the money was pretty much shorts today. Rivian, Oracle, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, AMD, and Apple. So we trade 7 names and pretty good on all of them today. So yeah, some good trading. I think we'll see tomorrow. I don't think there's any major economic numbers coming through tomorrow. Thursday, we'll see. There's no major earnings.
We could see the merge tomorrow. It's the 15th, so there's that to look out for.
I'd short crypto on that news. If you're going long on that, I think you're wrong. I think you already missed that move. Remember what we already said? It's like
it went 900.
That's the thing.
Ether went 900 to, it was 8 something to 2,000. It was a huge move on Ether.
You know, you buy the rumor, sell the news, and that's obviously what happened there. I hope it goes up, man. I think I'm a bull in crypto, an owner of crypto, so it's not trying to hate on it. I do think that there is some good opportunities there. But yeah, September 14th, people saying that's today. So whether or not it happens today, tomorrow, or the next day, it should be a good one there. So, okay, guys, so far so good, man. What a great day here. Thanks for watching. The trade of the day is going to be Meta. Brendan's always reading something. I always ask him if there's anything happening. There's not. So with that little shrug there, we are excited to have SneakerCon back up on the show very, very soon. Make sure you check that link up in our chat. But for everybody here at Trader TV Live, including Fahad, including Lucas, including Katrine, Maggie, Liz, everybody, the gentleman from the midday show as well, Sharif, Ian was on today, and Trader Pratt. For Neil, for Brendan, I'm Sean. We're the Trader TV Live family, and so are you, and Mark, and Rob, and everybody, and Randy, and Michael. I'll just go on and on. Yeah, I actually, part of my Italian nature today, I was the plumber. One of the guys in the back ripped off the handle on the bathroom, and the water was continuously running, and I went there, turned it off. Not rocket science, but no one else did it. Yeah, thank you, Brendan, for that one. So
I would not have done that.
Exactly. So we save a little bit of water there.
You literally have to turn a thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have done that, Brendan?
Exactly. So there it is right there. You guys are welcome. I'm trying to save water. You know what I'm saying? So there it is right there.
Gushing out, man. You got to stop that. Like,
you would
Brendan
think so.
doesn't care. He's like,
you would think
waste
so.
of water.
You would think so. Okay, let's move on that one. For everyone here at Trader TV Live, stay tuned for the trade of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.